their actual spell book and write them to your own if you don't have them already. Okay?
Yeah.
But there's a percentage chance for you to do that, and it's based upon your intelligence.
I really don't remember rolling for spellbook.
Dad did.
I guess we'll do it tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're playing an actual spellcaster.
One maybe.
Okay?
Cantrip question?
Sure.
So are you doing it in the fashion that they're like reusable? They don't take
Yes.
up a slot? Okay.
Yeah, they are just like a regular spell. The only difference is that there's a list of what cantrips are available.
And you can use them any number of times.
Correct.
But they're like level 0-ish.
Yeah, they're basically level 0.
Okay.
And so my intent is I want to incorporate, like the Unearthed Arcana book has a whole list of different cantrips. Okay, and that's what kind of poisoned me to begin with, because some of them are just, they're worthless. It's like, but there's things like every mage can do. Okay, expected. Like every mage should be able to cast light,
Ooh, a Snicker bar.
Yeah. something to that degree, though.
Flames of ass.
And some of it is cool too because you can use it for role playing purposes as well. Like there's a in one of the, and I don't remember, Jay, maybe you remember, but there was a Dragon magazine at one point that had a drawing that somebody did that you see a barmaid that's walking away, and her entire dress in the back is just buttons from top to bottom, and you see a mage kind of sitting in the corner and he's moving his hand like this, and you see the buttons are flying off.
It may have been the cantrips article.
It could have been.
Maybe I'll use some spells to tie a thief's shoelace.
Yeah, there are there are cantrips exactly like that.
This time?
Okay.
Someone with more thieving skills.
But at any rate, it's to help kind of improve on stuff so people don't feel like that they're sitting out of a fight and there's nothing that they can do. One of the other things I also want to go over at some point is kind of go through combat sequences. So I think that one of the things that has been holding everybody up is not sure what to do and when to do. Yeah. And so the point of it is that you got to be able to plan and strategize in certain battles so that you don't get a lot of wandering damage for one.
With each other, or
there's stray wandering arrows.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No shooting
but
combat.
But there's a method to the madness about engagement. So you want to make sure like your bow people have and your missile people have access to be able to fire. Maybe step out and fire, and your spellcasters do the same before your frontline fighters go charging right into the room.
But I got a clear line of sight.
And then someone runs in front of me.
Yeah.
And then I just rolled,
So,
initiative after them.
So I think I want to go through some of those things, just to help you guys a little bit with getting a better understanding of the gameplay and stuff, because I know the battles have been taking a little bit longer than normal. So, but hopefully to improve the actual game time as well. Everything else, is perfectly great. I love the interaction, obviously, that everybody is doing, and this is why I wanted to roll up a brand new set of characters, giving you an opportunity to try out different things as well. Okay? So, before we get there, though, we have Treasure Division to go through.
But only for
You
those
running
who voted in
already?
favor.
I'm sorry?
Are you running?
Yeah, should be.
Oh, I saw it.
Where
It
is
said I was.
the pencil bin?
It is right here.
You gentlemen.
Hang on.
It's upside down. No, it's not.
So, does anybody have any questions over anything it is that I've said?
Nope.
Writing device? You got one?
I got one.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna bring a quill.
A quill? Are you going to bring a fountain of ink as well?
Better be authentic calligraphy.
Yeah.
If you bring a fountain of ink, I hope you splash it all over.
Oh, that would be awful.
Awfully funny. You just want to ruin
Until
the
you're the one cleaning it.
Just wait until the table bites you.
I've avoided the legs
It's a
so
lot.
far. The legs of death.
Yeah. Well, I didn't.
I actually was cleaning stuff up, and I walked by this corner over here. I have 2 black and blue marks.
Oh, no!
So,
Yeah.
It's always that one.
These metal corners?
Yeah.
I don't see how that could hurt.
No, not at all.
Don't worry, Marco.
Yes, I know you had them.
I'm pretty sure you have a deal with like an orthopedic surgeon or something for like replacement knees.
Replacement. Oh, these went bad. I need another
I
set.
the stairs on Sunday and thought I broke 4 of my toes.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
My
You
gosh.
fell down the steps or Ashley pushed you?
Is that what Ashley told you to say?
I told you to clean.
No, our stairs are all tiled and they don't have any banisters. And if you're coming down in socks and you start to go, there's not anything to stop you.
Well, and that life insurance policy probably
Yeah,
is pretty
really?
large too.
It's
So
on my to-do list.
Is it higher on the to-do list
She's
now?
like, I just buffed those out.
all right, can I see the list, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
So are we
notes
done
on
with
that
all the
page, too.
monsters then?
Okay. Yeah. You can take the monsters
Yeah.
off. Okay. So for those of you that are joining online and watching and stuff, so the intent for tonight is to kind of wrap up everything that we did with the Adventures of Slap from last week and Siege of Bordrun's Watch, or not last week, but the week before. And then, like I said, I know tonight may seem a tad on the boring side, but I think it's something that is actually pretty cool. You'll get an opportunity to see how characters are developed, how you start them off. The intent, just so that you know, for the 23rd is to be a lot more of a role-playing aspect of things, not necessarily a lot of high-end battles. Okay, we only have about 4 hours to be able to do stuff. I already have the storyline partially written out and, already in my head as far as what it's intended to do. And because we're going to be dealing with multiple streams, we'll be getting a handoff from the first set that's out there, which I'll encourage you, try to watch as much as you can. If you can on Sunday, there's going to be a DMs panel. And myself, Jay, Will, and Bree are the DMs that are going to be running this. And so the intent is to kind of give a little, teaser about what the intent of everything is.
This coming Sunday you're going to
Yes, this coming Sunday for our Gavin at Lord Peaks Haven that Jay and I do.
Jay's talking with the thumbs up.
Yep.
7:30 EDT.
Yep.
Sunday night.
So, but the very first one is Wicked Studios. That's Will. His ideas behind this are really, really slick. So, and then the late night one, which is our group that we have, there is going to be an absolutely, hopefully, epic battle, a big miniature style battle. So, Ben, for your edification, where we actually play at Jay's, there are 2 4x8 sheets of almost basically what is like ping pong table material, is what it looks like. If you go and take a look and subscribe to the Twitch site, you'll see we have what we call Winchester's Bulwark, and it is one of the castles that our sponsor, Miniature Building Authority, helped us with. And so it's a huge castle, and we've done some epic battles with it already, but this is going to kind of blow all that away. So,
I thought Bill made that.
No, he does all the terrain pieces.
Jeffrey,
What,
you're
the
going to have
NBA keep? No.
Yeah.
No. The stuff inside. The stuff inside.
all day
Oh,
long?
all the buildings are all
Yeah,
miniature
that's what I was
buildings
gonna
already. So,
see.
yeah.
Didn't you want to get your MBA? Or Miniature Building Authority?
Yep. As well on Sunday, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, Sunday is our giveaway? This Sunday?
Thursday.
Pardon me, Thursday. So Thursday, if you're a subscriber, there's a $75 gift certificate that you can win if you subscribe to the channel from Miniature Building Authority. Actually, Jeff won the first one, if I remember correctly, from them. And then followers that are on that night will have an opportunity for a $25 gift certificate for stuff. Cool. So, okay.
Yeah, that was. I was. How did you want to do that? Are you guys from New Jersey, 8 to 12? Who was 8
Yes.
to 12?
Yes.
And then
We're 8 to 12 that night. We're 12 to 4 here.
Yeah.
Okay. Will is from 8 to 12. Or, I'm sorry, 8 to 12. And his, or noon to 4. And then Bree is doing 4 to 8.
So did you want to come over here and broadcast?
Yeah, potentially.
Your 8 to 12, and
Yes.
then you're here, and then
Yep.
ready to do 12 to 4, and then
Yeah.
you can hang out. And
Yep.
I've got nothing better to do with my life. So.
What'd you do over the weekend? 16 hours of watching
and
playing.
participating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nerd.
I'll throw some magic in on
That-
Sunday to really.
We've crossed that border long ago.
Okay. All right. So you did end up getting, when you returned to Overwatch, you did end up getting the 1,000 gold to getting all of the appropriate clerics out and so forth, as many as it is that you could. There really wasn't a whole heck of a lot to really split. You do manage to also take back the anvil of the Lortmo Mountains back to
That giant animal?
yeah.
Oh, it got
Well,
really tiny.
Yeah, I got tiny.
Yeah,
That's right.
it
Yeah.
got tiny so that you could actually take it with you.
Forgot about that.
And then it got dispositioned over in Overwatch at the Temple of Clangeddon. That's there.
Ooh, sound effects.
Okay.
That's the Temple of Thunder.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, there really wasn't a whole heck of a lot, and that was the interesting thing is that they didn't have really any money that was on them. Like they were taking care
Ilya kept
of.
saying that this was like a worthless mission, and it was a worthless mission.
Well, it depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, talk to Ilya. She has the most
We got to have
important
some
point of view.
Okay.
Smear sandwiches.
Yeah, delicious.
All right. So the things that you ended up coming away with was 1,000 gold. You also had a
Between the four of us.
large
Since
human
no one else is here.
set of full plate mail. And large human, what I mean by that is essentially about 6'6" and up.
So, oh my
Could
God.
actually, yeah, neither one of yours.
Dang it! I can't even wear.
You might be able
His
to.
heart is 6'1".
Give me the
Dang
helmet,
it!
put it on
You
my
could have the
pathway.
chest plate taken to the smith and have that made into a full thing.
I was thinking of like the Greaves, you know.
Yeah.
You can just hide behind the boots. He's playing a gnome and a halfling, so. Okay, so you also have a magical spear that's +1/+2 versus elves, a +1 bastard sword, and a masterwork suit of chainmail. And the nice thing about that is because it's masterwork, it functions at a higher movement rate. So normally chain is you move at 9. This actually allows you to move at 12.
Can it fit any size?
No,
Is it one size fits all? Master
I
race?
feel-
not quite.
So self-adapt.
Yep. So. Okay.
Okay, nothing I can use. Go ahead, guys.
How about it?
Except for the gold. If you want to give me all the gold, then you guys split the other
You're
side.
not getting all the gold.
Yeah, because I don't think that there was
But I actually can't use any of it either.
anything else.
Okay, we'll split the gold.
Damned if we give it to Goody Two Shoes shit armor.
What kicks
I don't know, I
or
think his
Soren's
armor
not
better
that
than
tall?
any-
Soren 6'1".
What's
I don't know
Doesn't
what
he have
kicks
plate?
is.
I don't know.
is plate better than chain?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he already has plate.
Who's that?
Bart's character.
Yeah. Gildor?
Yeah.
What
Or
about
Elias,
kicks?
yeah.
Though?
Yeah,
Is
would
kick
kicks
6
fit?
something?
So he I don't think so. He doesn't have
I say we sell it for more gold.
Dang it,
plate on
Kicks.
there. But he's actually wearing he's wearing black plate mail right now.
Oh, then never mind.
So
That's better.
We
yeah,
all
it
have
wouldn't
plate.
really make a difference. I think about the only
Should we just sell it?
one. Yeah, I would probably say that you can sell it.
Yeah, we'll just sell it. Make
Um,
more money.
I want to say about the only thing that would make sense. You might even just want to consider just selling all of it
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing there that's.
at the end of the day.
How much will the
Can
gold
my-
fetch if we sell the gold?
I'm sorry?
Can we sell the gold for more gold?
Sure.
It's called gambling. Can I? Yeah. What's the exchange rate?
I feel like animals.
Also, there's. Wait, how old are you?
I'm old enough.
Thank you. Stuff over there. There's a mini fridge that has soda and some beers in there. If you're interested.
Thank you. Can my gnome thief use the spear as kind of like a pole vault type thing?
Not really.
No.
No.
That would be
I'm just
hilarious.
curious, you know. That'd be
I
awesome.
could see so many
You could
ways
just
for
be
that to go
flying around
horribly
on it.
wrong. You assume you are much more gymnastic than you
I
are.
am
It's ironic coming from you.
trying
you
to
know?
become a thief acrobat. So
I
headed that.
have 100% climb wall spin.
Ask her how many times her gymnastics abilities landed her in a pile of shit.
Once!
Cow shit, horse shit, cow shit?
No,
Horse.
it was horse.
Horse.
I did fall twice. But only once!
Yes.
Then.
Was that a yes to the Mr. Ed reference?
No, that she fell in horse shit.
Yay.
So you found Bart a fountain that healed you, and then you got in there to clean his armor. I was like, wait, let us heal first.
You soiled yourself when you saw a demon.
I gotta get that pocket demon one of these times.
No pocket demons. No.
He's got to ring up 3 wishes. And he wants to,
Down to 2.
down to 2, and he wants to, at some point, have a pet demon.
My DM advised me strongly against it. Something about the demon not being happy if it ever broke control of the ring might not work out so well.
It's 2 wishes. Demon can never break out. Those are the 2 wishes.
Go get him, boy!
But then what do I hold over everyone else's head for the rest of the time?
Yeah.
A demon!
So important!
Great point.
That's why we're named Slap, actually, because he needed to get someone's hand back.
I didn't need the hand back. They wanted their hand
They
back.
wanted their
They
hand
had a
back, and he
critical-
said, alright, but anytime someone says slap, it's gonna slap you in
Alright.
the face.
So
And in our first battle, he's about to swing at somebody, and somebody yells slap.
Wasn't it you?
Yeah.
Drops
Alright.
his weapon, slaps himself in the face, and...
Okay, and so we can get, so that we can get essentially to the next phase for character development. So based upon what it is that you were able to sell,
Yep.
you can everybody add 600 gold
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
to the total.
Nope, that was silver
Who
pieces.
can do math for me?
No.
So
Do it much else.
2440, I think.
No, that also wasn't gold. Oh my gosh. Someone...
600.
I need a dollar.
GP one.
Yes.
I have so far
GP.
erased the wrong thing twice.
600.
I need an adult.
1690 is.
All right, so Candace, I have you at 626.
626 and
Gold.
In gold.
yeah.
Okay.
You're just gonna agree to whatever you told him. Which is what I would do.
Yeah, I didn't spend it all on a brothel.
Okay.
Ale.
Where have you been?
Cleaning his
Hey,
arrows.
he's got a comeliness of 10,
Where else is he gonna get some?
and then what now? Yeah, and Skaty's got a comeliness of 7. So
Yep.
Well, that's because she's missing her nose.
Yes.
Yep.
Which does remind me. So when you
Get it
get
back?
back,
No.
aesthetic nose.
You wanna get a pig now?
when you get
I
back,
could wish your nose back on.
the priests that are there say that they have ways of being able to get it back for you, but it is going to be very costly, in the realm of about 15 grand
I'll do it from
in gold.
I can do a
Everybody wanna
suture job
contribute to
better.
my GoFundMe.
Dude, we could give you that big old orc nose.
That's what I said.
That costs more.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or what would be even worse than an orc nose?
We could like skin one of the orcs' faces off, and that'll
Okay.
be better.
Okay, when did we go Leatherface on this?
I'll give you like Arya.
But they also say that they may be able to work out a deal with you, quest wise.
Okay.
Okay, which we'll build into the next.
Okay. Cool.
Okay,
Good to know.
all right.
Wait,
Okay.
Can we get to vote? 'Cause I said
That's
there's
right,
gonna
your
be a
nose
lot
was
of
gone, right?
no's. Right, Rod? If we get to group vote, I'm gonna say there's gonna be a lot of no's in the group.
Oh
Nice.
no. He likes puns, I'm warning you.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So, any other questions?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, if you wouldn't mind, pass your sheets back in. My intent is to get experience done for everybody.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
What level do I have to be to then start doing the acrobat part?
4th, I believe.
Unless you're at the top of the steps and
Not yet.
you know Ashley pushes you down.
Yeah. I don't think he landed gracefully.
Okay.
4 toes, huh?
Thief after that wouldn't hurt, so.
He would have jumped on a banister. Oh wait, there is no banister.
He would have jumped
Put ice on it.
So go ahead and take one and pass it down.
You didn't put ice on it though?
Oh, I had to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what's in you? You know what I should do?
It's like the first nice day we've had in like months.
Isn't it rice? You're supposed to take 2 of these or one?
One.
Just take one. One pass. Okay. All right.
I might need this for referencing.
So I wanna give you kind of a background to everything, and obviously to our viewers as well. Wow. About stuff.
Whoa. We promised we didn't bust open the pretzels yet.
She really likes pretzels.
Okay, as Jeff clears the board here.
Where'd you find the cat? Did you find that cat?
Wow.
Where was that cat?
Are you saying that she ate the cat?
So am I gonna have to paint up new characters?
Eventually.
Oh, yeah. Alright, Jeff, I might legit want to try and paint mine this time.
Is it gonna take you 5 weeks to do it?
That was really
Oh,
creepy
that's
when
what
we
you
got
should be.
attacked.
Okay. So I want to give you a background.
Just be a door.
That's being adorable.
That's what I want.
I want to give you a little bit of a background in
Edits?
in stuff about where it is that you're going to be. Okay.
I need to be tall.
All right.
I
So-
am gonna get you a boost.
The basis of this actual area, this is what is known as the Shield Lands. Okay? To give you at least a little bit of understanding of the geography, where you guys started off in Greyhawk is just on the other side of this water. This is what is known as the Near Deve, which is the Lake of Unknown Depths. Okay? It's a humongous lake.
You should check it out. I think we put weights on the Mungan tongue.
Can you hold your
Give us
breath?
a measurement.
He's been known to
You can
hold
put this
his
bag of
breath.
holding over your head
Okay.
to keep the ice.
So, what you will find out about the Shield Lands. So the back history about this is that this was a lot of different types of fiefdoms. Okay, very like noblish landowners, very snobbish types of landowners, and effectively in the time frame that we're playing in, there was a time where what they refer to as the Greyhawk Wars. Okay, and in the Greyhawk Wars, there was a return of a demigod, which was known as, sometimes they call him Iuz, sometimes you may hear me say Iuz. It's spelled I-U-Z. Okay? And he has lands that are in the north, but he ended up annexing and conquering all sorts of different lands, the Shield Lands being one of them. Okay? The head of the Shield Lands ended up basically being taken away in chains, never to be heard from again at this point. Nobody knows what happened to him, where he is at. The lands were completely overrun. They were trying to get some help, and the guy that was in charge essentially thought that he was trying to get help from a neighboring state called Furiundi, but he was afraid that they were trying to annex him. And so all the nobles actually refused all the help and so forth, and so they got completely decimated. So what was the lands, as you can see here, for the most part, if you think of this area down here and this island, that's about all that they actually have at this point, along with Axport. So it's very, very small. Now, because of how embarrassed and so forth that the landowner or the actual people, the regular people have been doing their best to actually fight back to try to regain their lands back. Okay, most of which is headed by a group which is known as the Knights of the Holy Shielding. Okay, a good majority of the people that are here, if you remember the alignment grid that I gave you, most of them are on the lawful sides of things. So you're going to have mostly like lawful good and lawful neutral. Okay, so think of Superman or Super Friends Batman. You know, not Dark Knight Batman. Dark Knight Batman is closer to like lawful neutral, maybe even sometimes bordering on a little bit of evil, you know, depending on who you are. But at any rate, that's where the where you guys are going to be adventuring. Okay, this specific group. Now, this actual bit of heraldry that's here, this is the symbol of the actual Shieldlands. The symbol that you're seeing here, this is from the Knights of Ulick. Okay?
Is that the one Anna
Yes.
put on?
Yes, this is actually Anna's map. Okay? And this area is run by the executive officer, which happens to be my character, named Railstone. Okay, for that
Michael
sect
Baton.
of the
What's his name?
no, his name is Railstone Gradavis. Okay, no, not Michael Baton. Trust me.
I'm gonna go with Captain EO.
Now, so Railstone is part of the Knights of Ulick, and like I said, he's the XL of this area. His nephew, my other character, David, is 1/3 of the oligarchy that runs the Shieldlands, this little part. And he is actually was crowned king. Okay? So he does not have complete power, but he has partial power with two females that are intermixed in as well. They each have a third. Yes.
I'm so nice to Mark, aren't I?
Yeah.
You said you were going to be quiet.
This area right here, let me pull this back a little bit. This area right here, this is what's known as the Free Reavers lands. They are interlopers. They're basically trying to take as much control of it as possible as well. There's lots of adventuring that can go on in this whole area. It's a hotbed for stuff. At Munfort here, which is on the island, that is actually the capital for the Shieldlands. Critwall is something that was just taken back. The Gradavis estate is right up here. In the northern part, it is completely destroyed.
By the Ringland.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so Jay is so nice to me that he actually destroyed my character's estate.
Walked right into that one.
Okay, so this is the general gist, and I'm going to bring up the storyline for it. The really cool thing is this past weekend was Gary Con, and so for those that have never heard of it before, so Gary Gygax, the father of D&D, used to run what was called Gen Con, and then Gen Con eventually, when Wizards of the Coast came in, and I think it was when they got bought out by TSR, or when TSR got bought out by Wizards of the Coast. They actually moved Gen Con, so now is in Indianapolis. And so in its place, they actually have a thing called Gary Con, which is in tribute to Gary Gygax. As part of that, there are members from different groups that we interact with that went to Gary Con and actually shared an entire storyline, part of which I'm going to be sharing here. And also played the video that we made for the Mega Stream as well. So we're hoping, beyond hope, that this Mega Stream goes extraordinarily well. We're trying to raise as many proceeds as we can, or as much money as we can for St. Jude's Hospital as well. So for those that are watching online, Jay will actually have on our Twitch channel a way of being able to donate. We have some donations already, which is great. Thank you, Jeff. That's one of them. But all of the proceeds are intended to go to St. Jude's Hospital across all four streams.
I should. I will keep quiet after this, but the button's there already. If you scroll down on the main screen, donate to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is already up, so you can donate now.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. So any questions so far over any of this? Okay. Now, because of what the lands actually are, depending on the type of character you want to play, may dictate where you're actually going to be from. Okay? You're going to be adventuring in, the actual Shieldlands proper itself. But if you're going to tell me that you want to play a drow character, you're going to have a really, really hard time justifying a drow in lawful good areas. Okay? Can it happen? Yes. But I will tell you have to be able to give me a really, really good storyline.
The drow with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
Vanished from her kind.
The majority of people that are from this area are human. Okay? If that helps your decision at all as well. Okay? There are other areas that you can come from. Greyhawk is, there's in Greyhawk there's a building which is the office of the Knights of the Holy Shielding, and in fact is half owned, technically is fully owned by the Knights of Ulick, but they gave half of it back to the Knights of the Holy Shielding. The interesting thing is that there is a line that is painted right down the middle, and the person that runs it, Corellia, Jay, is that correct?
Corellia Craigspone.
Yep. Absolutely hates Shieldlanders.
Oh, cool.
She is the Night Officer in Greyhawk. And essentially drew the line down the middle so that the Shieldlanders will never cross it.
My goodness.
Yeah,
She should have built a wall.
Too soon.
That'll be coming next, I'm sure.
It's too soon. She got to appropriate the funding first.
At any rate, so you can have characters that would come from there if you wish. One of the things I want to share with you, obviously, is the different types of character race combinations it is that you can do.
Is merman an option?
No, merman is not an option. Wingfolk are not an option.
It's right by the water.
Yeah.
I could be like,
you can't play Dragonborn. There's a limit.
Okay.
That's where First Edition comes into play. So give a thought behind what it is that you would want to do. Okay. But I'm going to read you the story, and I'm going to show it up here so that people can see as well. All right. So, the Order of Ulick and the current situations in the Shieldlands. So, Jay actually wrote this article, and this was one of the things that was in the packet that went out to people at GaryCon. Of all the 5 areas of the Order of Ulick currently hold some military and political influence, the Shieldlands remain the one most active and volatile. The Shieldlands have been under constant attempts of invasion from outside forces, going back to the Order of Ulick's founding in 583. Threats have included the Horn Society, multiple petty nobles from the Bandit Kingdoms, the Archmage Correptus, the Free Reavers, and currently Eaz and his forces. Eaz and his demonic forces were successful in an invasion of the Shieldlands during the Great Wars in 610. Our actual timeline incorporation of what was canon, what was called From the Ashes, from TSR and or Wizards of the Coast. And currently continue to hold about 60% of the territory. This is down from the complete subjugation of the Shieldlands during the wars. Even before the Great Wars, Shieldlanders were disillusioned with the Knights of the Holy Shielding and looked elsewhere for an organization that could be of assistance. This was the case with many adventurers that became members of the Order of Ulick, and in particular, the Gradavis family. Oh, I thought I did.
No, we want to make it scroll like Star Wars style.
Yeah, he's got to get angry for it.
Yeah, not quite.
You pop that off the edge of the table. It's caught on the edge of the table. See it right there?
Oh,
Up. There you go.
There we go. Okay.
sorry, I'm not reading. I'm listening.
Me too.
The constant fight to retake the Shieldland in its entirety has continued for 25 years. Multiple mercenary and adventuring parties, some with active members in the Order of Ulick, have maintained their presence in the Shieldlands and have built or retooled existing fortifications as permanent holdings. These include a group known as the Legion, which has relocated from Greyhawk City and maintained their forces to the northwest of Critwall as balance to raids by Sharonville Volinar and the Free Reavers. Also, the Defenders of the Keep, which claim as their holdings the Fortress Durgam's Folly and Drake Estate, both are located in the city of Axport. It's tough to see. There we go. Okay. Jointly working with the Knights of the Holy Shielding, the Order of Ulick has assisted in the retaking of Edmundfort, Critwall, Axport, and most recently Walworth's Crossing, although this currently remains in doubt as pilgrims, lawful neutral worshippers of Fultus, from the Theocracy of the Pale, have laid claim to this town at the crossroads of major road intersections in the center of the Shieldlands, renaming the town's Lights Reclaimed Pillar. In 624, an oligarchy of 3 individuals was elected from multiple representatives of influence from the Knights of the Holy Shielding, the Order of Ulick, and multiple mercenary organizations. Those elected were Katrina Walworth, Valderessa Sharn, alive in our campaign, From the Ashes she was actually killed, and David Gradivus II, a dual-class human male who is a specialty priest and paladin. David's election created particular enmity in some factions of the Order of Holy Shielding. While Katarina and Valderessa were active knights in the Holy Shielding, David, although a native, was an active member of the Order of Ulick. Shielding knights such as Randall White and Chet Bluegrass were outraged and plotted ways to supplant David, all in failure. All 3 were re-elected to a second 5-year term and to a third and final 5-year term in the current year 635, which actually caused a huge rift amongst a lot of people. They were only supposed to serve 2 terms at most, and unfortunately they weren't able to get anybody else that was going to take the mantle of command, and so they offered to do it one last time, which in a lot of cases really pissed off some people because they thought they should just walk away and let them do whatever it is that they needed to do. At any rate.
So everyone, that's your fake news.
Yep, they are. Okay. In an effort to stop this third re-election from occurring, Randall White, with his second-in-command, Chet Bluegrass, marched his army roughly 1/3 of all military forces for the Order of the Holy Shielding at that time, north to Walworth's Crossing. They would attempt to defeat a large army of zombies that were plaguing this area. This was timed to occur right before David Gradivus was to wed his long-loved Ashley Winchester of Keelland. The Shieldlander force met the zombie army and slaughtered it. However, as they were celebrating through that evening into the next day's sunrise, the entire zombie army reformed. Also, the lesser Boneheart priest, Panjazek, appeared on the battlefield with his Greater Thassalos bodyguard and multiple greater demons. The drunken Shieldlander army was completely caught by surprise and was thoroughly annihilated and added to the zombie army. Both Randall White and Chet Bluegrass managed to survive, but with extremely grievous permanent injuries. In fact, Randall was so decimated, basically all he had left was his head and his torso.
Oh my god.
He doesn't even have his tongue.
This all really happened in our campaign, by the way, guys.
Yes.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yes, and honestly, the Order of Ulick, the members of it, absolutely despise Randall White. He is a complete ass. David has... My character, David, has had pity on him and has tried to get him to understand the bigger picture, but, of course, you know.
Didn't he play for the Eagles, though?
Who's that? Randall White?
Yeah.
Different Randall White, yes.
different time.
I was trying.
This one couldn't catch shit if you
That's okay. I found out that we have an employee named Brian Westbrook, so I was pretty happy about that. At any rate, they were both recovered by a force led by David Gradivus and Ashley Winchester and other Knights of Ulick and some friendly mercenaries. It was discovered that a Grave Master, which is an evil character class, that is not one of the ones that you'll be able to play, had taken residence in the area, capable of raising every dead corpse within a 25-mile radius every sunrise. Only with the Grave Master's defeat and Panchasek's retreat was this force able to save the day at Walworth's Crossing. The fight to retake the Shieldlands continues on. The current commander of the Order of Ulick in the Shieldlands is David's uncle, Railstone Gradivus I. He is also a dual-class paladin specialty priest. So the nephew was a specialty priest and paladin, dual-class.
Yeah.
The uncle was a paladin and then changed over to specialty priest.
So what's FT?
Fighter.
Free throw.
Oh, fighter.
Yeah, it's fighter
Oh my
paladin,
God.
as opposed to
Fighters.
cavalier paladin.
What's
Type.
the percentage?
76.
The executive officer here is Jelaine Chaucer. Both are Shieldland natives as well.
Chaucer?
Yes.
Is that the scribe as well?
Yep. Okay. As the Holy Shielding regains its purpose and strength, members of the Order of Eula continue to assist by providing training, coinage, and continued flow of adventurers to the area. Our campaign obviously has deviated strongly from the canon history in the world of Greyhawk. It is considered an alternate Orth setting. Whenever possible, canon publications like From the Ashes are incorporated into the campaign storyline. However, some great characters and personalities remain alive and well. Valderessa Shawn and Grimry Fisher of the Fellowship of the Torch are examples. Okay? So that's the basic background of the actual lands that you're going to be in. Okay? So, like I said, the majority of people that are here are mostly human, but there are, opportunities for other races if you so choose. Okay? Nick and I have already talked about a character that I want him to play specifically because I think it will fit in perfectly.
Demon Grave.
Why is that evil look on your face?
I thought they had to be lawful good.
No, they don't have to be lawful good. Like I said, there are lawfuls that are in the area.
Oh no! Stop laughing.
Okay? So any questions over anything that I've gone over? Okay, so if you remember a little bit over a year ago, that there, for some a little bit less since Rod joined kind of halfway, there's a particular way that we actually go and roll up characters. Can we get the lights back on a little bit?
Cantrip. Light.
There we go.
Wow.
Is that enough for
Yeah, that should be okay. Okay, so we use a traditional method where you take, obviously you're taking 3 6-sided dice, it's not 20s, and
Only have 2.
there's
So only
thirds.
have two.
Only have 1.
Oh, actually, I have 3 because technically.
I have another one in here.
It's okay. So you can obviously choose out of that group as well. But effectively what you end up doing is you roll 3 6-sided dice 6 times for each stat. You take the highest one. Except for comeliness, which you roll twice. Okay? And then there's modifiers and stuff based upon the race it is that you want to do. Now, that said, and so what I'm going to do, so don't write your numbers on your character sheet. Whatever it is, I was going to say I have.
Oh, I have paper.
I'll take some.
Okay.
I have this and 2 other notebooks, so I am
All right.
uncovered.
So the intent would be is that you would take 3 6-sided dice. Okay. And like I said, you would take whatever it is that you roll, and that would be the first, in this case would be the first one, so 10. And they would do this 6 times, okay, for strength, and take the highest one out of those 6. Okay? You then move down the list to intelligence, wisdom, and so forth. And so what may be helpful to you is if you just write down the first letter of each stat, S, I, W, D, C, C, H, and C, O, M.
Computer.
Okay? And then log whatever it is that you actually roll. Once again, you roll that 6 times for each stat, and then whatever the highest one is, just circle it. Is the easiest way of doing so.
So
Now-
I'm rolling my D2.
Yes.
No, not quite.
Really great or not so hot.
Those are your options.
All right.
Never
Now,
calling us.
the other thing is that if you have a particular type of character class that you want to use, I'm going to show this here.
Yes, please.
Thought I had
Hey, can I have this one?
up here.
You want a box?
Yeah, that'd be good if you have another one.
You don't have to use one if you want to, but for those of us who brought things just
6 times, right?
surprise them
Yep.
out when they get his
Nick wants to
display.
dent the
Yeah.
table with his metal dice.
At least Jocum's not here.
Okay.
Yeah, with his 20-pound die.
Wait, I forget. I'm not supposed to add up all of them together.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
Put them
yes.
all together.
that's your first
Clearly
one.
listening.
No. This would be your strength.
Four.
This would then become
So
your
weird.
intelligence, and that's your wisdom.
Oh, that'd be my comeliness.
You're
The best you can get is the highest you can get is a 6 per characteristic.
So my first
really
roll
low
is a
fantasy.
7. So that I'm probably not keeping.
4, 10, 12. Alright. How many times have we rolled this?
6 times.
That was really wisdom.
So I forgot it was 6 times too. I'm glad you said that out loud. Because I literally forgot.
Oh shoot.
Showing up as
The
well as I
highest
thought.
2 right of
What do
each
you
of
need?
these. I don't know where it went. Highest 2.
Well, it's not.
Like all 3.
All of
Is
them?
it not?
It's
You add them all together, right?
not.
My first one was really good then. 2 6s and a
You
5.
able to?
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
That's
you're all
17
set.
strength. Let's go.
That's I got a 15 is my highest.
So far, I have 12.
Oh, thank goodness. That's actually palatable.
Come on, big whammies. No.
I'm not even planning on playing a fighter, but I'd like a decent.
5.
It's gonna be whatever
Down
the
to my
strongest
last
class
one. I need
is.
something. Big money.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
15.
12. That's
Dude,
no
17.
way.
Let's
13s in a
go.
row.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, one more roll on strength.
Alright, let's roll some dumb people.
Okay. All right. So what you're seeing here is a breakdown of the different types of classes it is that are available. Okay. Doesn't have don't have all of them showing. Let me. Be a little bit too small
I can read it.
to see, but. But at any rate, effectively, here are all of the lists of classes and races that you can actually play. So going from the top, the first one is human, half-elf, gray elf, dark elf, sylvan or wood elf. We do have wild elf, but that's a yeah, it's kind of frowned upon. Surface gnomes, halflings, half-orcs, and half-ogres are all potential races that you can play. Okay.
I'm looking for those.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, yes!
I was doing demonstration.
What is that?
I'm not
Dexterity. I
I'm
got
not rolling
18.
shit.
Look at that. See that?
All right.
You're
Well,
right,
and
dexterity.
that's
I haven't even started with intelligence.
the other part. So if you remember when you rolled up your initial characters, you didn't do just one set of rolls. I had you do a set of 6.
Yeah.
And then you got to pick which one of those 6 that you want to
Is
use.
that how this is going to be too? Like you have to choose a column?
No, it's not a. It's. You're going to do this part.
Let's
Okay, so you're going to do the best. Yeah, you're going to do the best of each for every stat, and then what you're going to do is you're going to do it again, and you're going to do it again,
Oh,
and you're
and
going to do that 6 times as well.
So we're doing
Oh.
this whole thing 6 times.
Correct.
I need to go faster.
Okay.
Pick which one I want to be.
Are we going down or across? Down first, right?
Yeah, you go down first, and then you go across.
Yeah. Trust. I had no idea what I was doing this when we first did this. So I
Yep.
still don't.
Wait, we go down first and then across?
Yes. You go down first, so it's character 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth.
So,
So you're rolling.
So like I'm doing this. This would be character 1, and then I would
I've been
Do
doing
next
this the wrong
character 2
the whole
and character
time!
3.
No, you're not.
Did you roll 18 times for something? Or?
No, I rolled 6 times, but all for the same field.
Yeah, that's okay.
that's-
You would
That's
do
what you're supposed
that.
to do.
You're going to do that. So you're going to start off with
But it was all
6
for
times.
strength.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then you're going to move to intelligence, and you're going to move down. You're going to go
Oh.
through all the
I
stats.
just did mine
I
this
got
way instead of the
4.
way everyone else.
Yeah.
But when I'm done with this and I've done the
You're gonna
best
do
out of
the
all of
exact same
these,
again.
I do already did.
you do another set.
Okay, got
Right.
it.
That's another character.
And you do another set, and you do another set, and you do that 6 times as well.
Okay.
And then from there, you make the decision based upon the type of character it is that you want to play.
Okay.
Oh, my characters are clumsy.
I haven't rolled anything higher than a 13.
Wow.
Well, I rolled a 15 for intelligence, and now I just rolled a 4, so guess which number I'm not keeping.
I have a guy that has a dexterity of 8. I think he needs to lay off the Big Macs.
There's a big figure, I guess.
Dude, I need a higher intelligence here.
My poor dexterity for all of my
What's a low
characters.
constitution? If you have 6 constitution, is that
Come
good?
on.
No, 6 Constitution is not good.
Oh! I am not rolling as high of intelligence as I want to for this character.
Yeah, that's okay.
You still have other sets.
I know! I just have a very specific kind of character in mind.
Just gonna use a code number generator.
You can. There's
Yeah.
an app I use last
So
time.
yeah, so if you want to do that too, so there's a really good dice rolling app that's out there. It's called Feud's Dice Roller. So if you don't feel like doing it, I always like, of course, having it's like you can read PDFs if you want, but there's nothing like having the original book in your hand.
Yeah.
Rolling up a character, there's something to say about actually rolling the dice and doing the math.
You have something to get mad at.
Feud's Dice Roller.
Blame.
It's like, oh, I can't roll!
This guy has legit decks, though.
Yeah, I got 18 decks.
What the heck?
And so you can actually set up different complex calculations.
Oh no, my wisdom is so bad so far.
Let's see, maybe.
Part of the course.
Oh gosh, hey! I feel like that was an insult.
Now, I will say
We're adding 10 to every roll, right?
I will say for those of you that have played like spellcasters, thieves, and so forth, and you've kind of felt a little bit out of sorts in battles and stuff, I would probably suggest if you want to have more of an involvement, yeah. And Rod, you were one of them actually. I was going to say it would probably make sense for you to play, something that has more muscle to it. You can feel more engaged. Okay, keeping in mind, every race/class has a specific purpose. Okay, so think about the type of work it is that we do in IS. Not everybody is a business analyst. Not everybody is a DBA. Not everybody is an architect. Not everybody is a programmer. But you put all of them together in a room, and if they don't kill each other, you probably end up with a really great deliverable that makes and moves the needle.
Or you find out that no one else knows what you do.
And that's
That
entirely
happened last
possible
week to me.
too. But at the end of the day, that's what you want to try to have. You want to try to have a balance of the different types of characters and races that are going to be there, and they're all going to serve different purposes. And some will serve more in like battles and stuff. Some will serve more in roleplay. Some will serve more in intrigue and politics and things like that. Now, I will forewarn you that in this specific area is a lot of politics that goes on. Okay, so you probably tend to have a lot more roleplay in this than you will like battle capabilities, at least up front.
Good thing I rolled 17 strength.
I rolled a 17 dex.
Oh, nice.
I'm like,
Punch my way through
I'm
the
not trying to play a
diplomacy.
thief this time, though, so I'm like, no! Where was this when I was rolling Ilya?
Yeah, play a duelist.
A duelist?
That's fun.
Yeah, they carry around a glove and they just smack him.
That's all I can think of! Actually, I was thinking Yu-Gi-Oh!, so I was even worse down
How did you do?
A card playing class.
It's like, it's time to duel. Take out your what is it called? Duel disc. Have that on your arm.
And Jeff, to answer your question, you don't have to paint up new characters. I figure we'll just take the same ones that we have now. We'll just switch them
Okay.
to everybody.
Well, I won't mind painting some up if somebody wants a new one.
I might do a new one.
I mean, on our opposite
wanted to-
weekends, I still wanted to plan to have a painting Monday or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Alright, I want that one right there.
Oh, you still want the tree lady with no
The one with
leaves
wings.
covering her?
The one, wait, that's a lady?
You want the...
I want the wings.
oh, you want the... Yeah, that's... what's his name?
It's like a Grim
Yeah.
Reaper type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
The culling is still level 2.
Yes, comeliness is the one that you roll twice.
Oh,
Wait, what?
twice
Come on,
and
show
take
me
the
roll two dice.
highest?
Yes.
Whoops.
Is everyone
Oh,
faster
well,
than me
that's
because they're
alright.
better at math,
No, you add
or
them
what?
together.
You can
Right.
take the lowest if you want.
Wait, you roll 2 and take the highest, or you add them together?
You roll 2 and you take the highest.
So everything else you roll
Not
6.
everybody in the D&D world are beautiful people.
So as soon as I roll 1 6, I stop.
No.
I rolled
No,
two
you only
die.
roll-
You roll twice. So for the other stats, you're
instead of
rolling 6
You only
times.
get 2 rolls.
But I still roll
Only this,
3.
you only roll
2 rolls of
twice.
3.
Okay, roll 3, but I only do
You
it.
only-
So technically, I
Right.
can only take from these first 2. So if I scratch those out, I was still
Right.
Oh, actually, then I can see what I had. An 11 and a 10, so I guess I'm taking the 11.
Oh no!
But I got great charisma, guys.
Well, you have to make up for
I'm
your
like-
looks somehow.
I'm like ugly cute, like people were like really drawn to me because
You're like Adam Sandler
I own
from
it.
Airheads.
yeah.
But they won't follow you unless they get to hit you with the bag of hammers first.
I mean, I guess.
And then you'll go down to a 6 from a 7.
You don't need to know, do you?
And then we choose what stats we want. Just like
Wow. I'm going to have to
for the
send this back
character,
to the manufacturer.
Yeah.
each category.
These things aren't
So
loaded
what you'll do-
anymore.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, so this would be one potential character. Then you're going to do this again 5 more times. Okay, and then out of that grouping of 6, you choose that set that you want for your character.
Okay.
You pick which character you want.
Yep.
So this is like my character 1.
Yeah, because in the old days,
Ooh, I can't believe this
the
is
way it
also
used to be
an 11.
is that you would just basically do this once, and depending on who it was that you were talking to, and how much of an ass the DM actually was.
Like ours.
Yeah, like yours.
I think we should just do it 3
I mean
times.
yours. I was
3
talking
sets.
yours.
Oh, well.
Your DM.
Well, you
Actually, Jay had pretty decent dice. He had a specific set that he would use.
Oh, he had loaded dice.
Pretty close.
Rolled nothing under 5s.
He actually has ones that are loaded that
Only
all they
under
roll are
5.
6s.
Oh, jeez.
What?
I think
But-
we should only be allowed to roll 3 characters. 3 sets.
That's just because you're lazy.
Yeah, pretty much. I think you're only allowed to take one highest, the other lowest, and the rest have to be in the middle.
No.
Well, and the benefit to this is that you get to ultimately then choose the type of characters that you want to play. Like I was saying, in the old days, you would roll
Roll it
up
up,
whatever the
and that's
stats
what you
were, and
get.
whatever the stats were basically dictated to you what you had. And so you'd end up with, 3 or 4 clerics because people would roll up high wisdom. And you wouldn't end up with a thief, or you wouldn't end up with a mainline fighter, which doesn't make any sense at all.
And your guy with the 8 dexterity was always the first to get killed.
Yeah.
And
Now-
the other people in the party didn't have to shoot him. He was already slow.
You always have the option. You don't have to take the highest number if you don't wish to. Okay? So if you, like I have, you can, for role-playing purposes, you can do all sorts of stuff. For instance, I have an undead hunter from the Shieldlands that is based upon Angel,
Like,
the show.
okay.
Angel
Okay.
from
I was
Buffy.
like, Angel from Buffy,
Okay.
right?
Now, David Borneas,
Coriander.
in real life has a bad knee. And so, what the hell is it? Oh.
Come on, Jeff. Concentrate.
And so my character actually has a permanent limp, and so he moves at 1 less set of movement rate for it, and it's uncurable. Okay,
Interesting.
so you can once again build essentially whatever it is that you want to build for your character to be. Okay, and we had one player, Wayne, that his entire character development was all based upon having high stats. He didn't really give a shit what the type of character it was. It wasn't about role play. It was really about power, and that was the game he played. And subsequently ended up getting really, really abused, far worse than what I do to you guys, and far worse than what Jay ever done to me. Except maybe a couple things, but
So we do this. How many characters?
6.
6 characters.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm almost at mine.
I'm on number 2.
I just started number 3.
I'm almost halfway through
I
number
hope
2.
once this app warms up, it gets a little better.
I should roll my
Actually,
sleeves.
let me show you a trick. So with this app, if you do plus 3d6 plus 3d6 plus, and you do that, then it will give you an aggregate of
Like
the different
the whole
numbers.
thing.
Yeah. So
Okay, I
so-
see. Okay.
Yeah, so if you take it and you do plus 3d6.
You highlight it. Yep. Select.
Okay, so now if I roll, now you'll see I have
this is like,
11 and
it's gonna
13.
be
So if you did
some
plus
cost
3d6
fallacy, I can't
all
leave
the way
it. So
across,
it's
so you
forever
did that
making
6
one
times.
character.
So plus 3d6.
And then you just take.
Oh my
11,
gosh, I'm so
Right.
much fun
Got
so
it,
that I
got
can
it.
see over
Okay.
this table
So
and
we
it's
got
falling
1,
asleep. It hurts.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Guys, I
7,
need to be
8
taller.
rolls,
Yeah.
right?
That's my most intelligent roll.
Well,
yet.
you have 6. You have
What
6
number is
per.
it?
17.
Oh, wow.
Strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity,
Can I take that?
constitution.
Right, I'm
or-
saying yeah. If you just did it, you just roll it
There's
once
4
for.
chances. I
So
guess
out of the
4
first
times
6 rolls, I'd have 14 as the highest. So
got it.
okay,
Got it.
and then I would do the next one
crap.
and do it this
I
way.
see.
So
Really
18
good.
intelligence.
Got it.
Blah blah blah.
That's how.
Okay.
His dex isn't quite as high, but it's not
I have a
terrible.
15. Alright then.
So I'm just gonna call it quits after character 2, because I doubt it's gonna get any better.
Lucky.
Okay, so a few of the characters that I will say probably fit in this group, more than not. Okay, so anything that would be an undead hunter or paladin type or knight type, obviously would mix. Okay, an elven cavalier, probably not. A Saxon would fit really, really well here. A druid, once again, probably not. Which also leaves off an Avenger. If you want to get a little crazy, playing like a wild mage.
What's a wild mage?
So wild mage is a...
Shaman style?
No, they're actually a mage that is trying to harness the true power of magic. And so what ends up happening is they have specific types of spells that can do lots and lots of damage, but they also have the capability of doing what's called a surge. And so basically what happens is that they can't control the magic, and so something bad or something good could literally happen.
Sounds really fun.
That
If only I
actually-
ever rolled a good intelligence.
It is a very, very fun character to play.
That's kind
Can
of
we all
what
be
I sort of
wild?
had
It is
in mind a little bit.
actually it's completely chaotic sometimes.
Which one is this?
The wild mage.
So for my constitution.
Well, I want to play someone who uses magic this time because I've never known how to
Yeah.
use magic, so that's what I
It's a
want to do this
checked.
time.
What is?
Okay, so
human,
the ones,
okay.
yeah. So if it has a checkbox, so humans, you can be everything, obviously, other than ones that are specific per race. So, like, you can't have a human guardian or a human shield thing because those are halfling and dwarven.
What were the
types.
limitations on numbers? and
On
stuff?
numbers, humans can have everything from
so
3 to
humans-
18.
Okay.
So they have no
You got a 3,
limitations
right,
at all.
for your constitution.
No.
You got smashed by the big boulder in Lord of Flies, little piggy.
Oh my gosh, going back to like 9th grade.
No, most I ever got was a 6. I didn't pick that.
It's Piggy's turn to speak. Give him the conch.
Alright, almost done with my second one.
How did I just roll 315 in a row?
Because that's the average of the dice.
15. Is it?
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm really happy.
You're probably going to roll somewhere between, on average, somewhere between about 12 to 15.
Oh my god.
3 wisdom.
Should be played.
15, 15,
Yeah.
15
Yeah,
different
that
things.
can happen.
Guys,
16 strength.
this character's
3
gonna be ugly.
wisdom.
Now, remember as well, depending upon the race it is that you choose, there are offsets that do happen. Okay, like elves are more dexterous and some are more intelligent, but their constitution goes down. Okay? Dwarves, their charisma goes down, but their constitution goes up. Halflings, their strength goes down, but their dexterity goes up. So there's once again, there's checks and balances on this. And Ben, just so that you're aware, so one of the things that I try to preach, so to speak, about the game, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not a humongous fan of 5e, is why I like the old style, is a lot of balance that comes with the game. Okay? So you don't have the opportunity to play like, I always use the concept like a half-orc paladin. That just doesn't fit. Okay, paladins were intended to be human warriors. Because they gain so many benefits already, you start throwing in racial benefits on top of it, and it kind of imbalances the game too much.
Hey, Mark, don't forget that there's a comeliness modifier from charisma.
Yes, understood.
I always forget it.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I want you to roll just the bases first, and then from there we'll go around and we'll have discussions about what it is that you're thinking about. I'll give you a breakdown about what the actual classes are. Okay. And what I would want is an idea of what it is that you're thinking about playing. And I'm saying general. Like, if you want to play, quote-unquote, a fighter type, there are multiple different fighter types, or different cleric types, or different thieving types.
So, and this 12 is my best strength.
That's okay. Straight mage can do that, or even fighter. Look, I have an undead hunter that has a 12 strength. And keep in mind, there's always spells that will help augment certain things.
Let's go. Wow, this character.
Yes!
Did you get 66?
17
There you go.
on wisdom!
Rolls 7 for all other stats.
I need intelligence and wisdom to be high. And the intelligence I got was a 15. So if the wisdom is 17, this is showing promise.
Here, hold it.
So,
Jeff, real quick question. Are you donating all your points like you did last quarter?
what's that?
And donate all your points like you
I
did
don't see
last
anything,
quarter?
Rod.
Donating my stuff to
Did it go
whoever.
underneath the bag?
Yeah, I don't want to win.
Did it
I
go
just
by
wanna make
the
sure,
bag?
man. I know that I don't.
Yeah, I'd rather have people in the channel have it versus like us.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Really appreciate it.
What happened?
It's right there. Where?
Right
Oh.
here.
Okay.
Right in front of you.
All right. So Jeff, what are you thinking character-wise? That you
I want
are
to be
interested.
a little more involved. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking Ranger.
Okay.
But from a role play standpoint, what type of character
Okay.
to
So-
be more involved? Because I was a little more quiet.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Okay, so for Ranger, there's two different types that you can play. This is what we were talking about last night. So the first type is the traditional Ranger.
Yeah.
Okay, think of them more as like a woodsman. They do special damage against like giant, are called giant types, humanoids.
Yep.
Essentially. Okay. They can be human and or elven, half elven in nature. Okay, they're a fighter type. Okay, but they're usually considered to be like the second line fighter. They're not necessarily always the front line fighter. Okay, they also can be specialized in like bow and stuff like that, so they can be very good with missile weapons too. The other type of ranger, or what we refer to as the new ranger, is more of what I consider like special forces. Okay, they get if you want to think of it as like a race or a group that they are specializing against. So as we were talking about last night, like Tim was saying, it doesn't really make sense to have like specialties against like demons and devils. That's not a ranger. Well, it can be, because if you think of them as special forces, they engage in understanding what that group actually does, and that's why they gain benefits against them. Okay? They are more of the not like heavy armored type of fighter. They want to be quick. So they gain benefits for doing two-fisted fighting, and they get that at a non-penalty, or in certain non-penalties and stuff. So you can really choose, pick and choose from that kind of a concept. Now, the other things that you can also do is if you wanted to be like specifically like an undead hunter, as an example, that's a paladin type. Okay, they actually. Okay, so undead hunters, which an undead hunter would be a really good one to actually choose. They don't have to be lawful good. They can be lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, or lawful neutral. Okay, they are more of like the Buffy type of undead hunter. Okay, they're really good with crossbow. They have to actually use a crossbow. They gain a lot of the paladin abilities, but instead of having like protection from evil and detecting evil, they get protection from undead and detecting undead. Okay? So that's another possibility that comes into play as well. Another really good one would be like the Saxon. So they're kind of like field troops. So they're like a cavalier, except they're foot soldiers. So they use more like pole arms and things like that. Okay? The really cool thing about them is that they gain these abilities that are here. So they gain a defensive training without having to spend it on a proficiency. They get it naturally. Okay. They have also the ability that they can double specialize in pole arms.
Yeah,
as well.
A 9.
Okay, they're really great foot soldiers, and they also gain the ability to do what's called bleeding wounds. So there's a magic item that's in the game, which is called a Sword of Wound, and we've had it to other items as well. And basically, what it does is every time that you actually hit, it causes an open wound, and they bleed out. Okay, they gain that as a natural ability.
I'm starting 4.
Okay,
so over rounds, then
you're right. So you would say, and you get this 3 times per day. You have to be a 3rd level in order to do so. And what it says is that when you attack, you say, "Hey, I want this to be a bleeding wound." Okay, so if you hit, then that functions as a bleeding wound. So every round, they actually lose an extra point.
So you can't say every time. So it's 3 times.
3 times per day. Right. But if you decided 3 attacks, if you did 3 attacks and say, "Hey, all 3 of these attacks, I want to do bleeding wounds," and you hit all 3 times, every round they're losing 3 hit points.
Okay. But if I say I'm using bleeding wounds, I miss,
then you've used correct. You've used it for the day.
Unless I fumbled.
Right.
Hit my friend.
If you hit your friend, then the same thing. Then they bleed.
Sorry.
Hey, why are you hitting me?
I'm just. It's a scenario.
This person doesn't even care.
So, what I would suggest, take a look. This gives better descriptions about what the characters actually are. Okay. Another good one would be like a Crusader.
18 wisdom.
So Crusader is, if you think of it as almost like a battle priest.
16 strength and 15 intelligence.
They gain some clerical abilities, but they also gain some fighting abilities
That's fine.
as well. They're not quite the paladin type, but they gain like certain spells that are available to them that aren't available to others.
I mean, I can stop rolling once I roll an 18, right? For that category.
You pretty much can.
Variety.
I don't.
I'll take it. All right. So the other book I'm also going to pull out is the Unearthed Arcana. Also, Player's Handbook.
Come on, Dex. Don't give me shitty Dex for once.
Oh.
Don't yell at the dice. It just makes them
I
angry.
didn't yell. I just said, yikes.
Whoopsie daisies.
Alright, I might just stop with this one. So far we have 4 single-digit options on intelligence. Okay, 13, but that's still not as high as I was hoping for.
Oh.
But not bad.
Oh, come on, Dex. One time.
So this is where I'm looking at this. Where it says what my minimums are, right?
Yep. And once again, we can make adjustments to it. It's more important to me that you play the type of character it is that you want to play. Okay?
Is that where we're at? Oh yeah, nice.
So
Wonder how many of
9.
Okay.
Constitution.
Oh my god.
I'm unkillable.
You can drink so much.
The real use of Constitution.
What other use is there?
Pretty much the only one I think. Too bad all my other stats are not that good. Or I could be a really hardy wizard. 16 intelligence. 18 Constitution, 16 intelligence.
Oh my god, that's terrible. For all my killer stats, I just rolled an 11.
Where was the ranger at in here?
Okay, so
Is that under fighter?
Yeah. So the actual ranger The secondary ranger is keep going. Right here.
Okay, so
Okay. The regular ranger
when you
is
say regular,
so the original ranger.
original Rangers in
Yeah,
that
it's
one.
more like the woodsman.
So that's from 2E then?
This 1A.
Oh, that's
1A. This is
This is the
right.
the new Ranger.
The new ranger is what we call him.
Okay.
He's like the green. He's like the white ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The green ranger. Which one was the new one?
The Pink Ranger.
Wasn't the white one new too at one point? He wasn't part of the OG.
16 for Constitution. I don't need someone tough. I need someone smart. Can we just trade these stats, please?
Last character.
Uh-oh.
Me too.
Wow. So this guy is awesome at everything except for Constitution, which is 11, and his comeliness is an 8.
Oh, that's the lowest I've heard thus far. It's rough.
I don't have that.
11, 14.
Yeah, I don't know. An 11 strength is pretty good.
Oh, that's fine. So far, the one that I'm liking the most has a 9 comeliness. So,
I purposely choose my one character with 6 comeliness. I have no idea what that affects because that is not in future versions of this game.
It's your, how physically attractive you are.
Yeah, I got that, but like, how often is it used?
you can
Can I get away with
It
6?
depends how often you're in the tavern and looking for a good time.
sometimes if you're trying to get information, using sex appeal works.
Yes, that's true.
Coming from the character that was most frequently covered in horse manure.
I had a 17 comeliness, though.
Still
I'm
look
gonna roll over a 13 comeliness. That's what I want.
I haven't rolled anything over an 11 comeliness, so you're doing better than me.
Oh, that's good. Got a couple of 13s.
Oh, goodness. It's just like, it's like right next to your foot.
I feel it.
Thank you.
There you go.
It just like burst out the side of my hand. And I rolled 5 with it. Great. Excellent.
Okay.
I just rolled 5 too.
Now, Ben, I will make sure to get you access to the Dropbox so that you can, take a look
Yeah.
at everything as well. Just make sure you leave me with an email address so that I can add you to it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, yes.
And probably add them to the group
Okay.
me.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll have to actually create as well.
We use a group
Yep.
me for communication and stuff.
Okay. I already
Yep.
have group me, so that's easy.
Okay.
Awesome.
So we'll use this
That-
same
look,
email
we just
address. Is
upgraded
okay.
Bart, just like that.
What?
Another guy in our group. It's a little. It doesn't show up. Well,
He's
for
yeah he's
reasons out of his
yeah
control.
he tries extraordinarily hard to make it, but unfortunately sometimes life takes its toll.
Yeah. By the way, I got 2 17s on this one character's wisdom.
Dude.
I would have liked to have gotten that on a different stat. Not
Can
the
I
same
take
one.
it? We'll trade.
Yeah, you can take
I'll
it.
just trade that.
That's probably how this works.
Oh my gosh, I have to keep readjusting because I can't see very well, but then my feet fall asleep, and then I have to like get feeling back in them.
Nerd world problems.
I just rolled a 16 for a stat I don't care about.
What was the one that had the crossbow?
That's the undead hunter.
What's he fall under?
So he is actually a paladin type.
Paladin. Is that under here?
Yeah, should see. Yep.
4
Dice are always
Constitution,
hot for the
so I can
first
have a
few.
17 Wisdom,
I know.
a 6 Dexterity, and a 4 Constitution.
You should stay in.
I will live
Inquisitor
for
is another really good
one
one too.
turn.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a really
Never mind,
cool
it's got a
class.
17 Constitution.
Here
Okay.
we go. Final comeliness is.
Charisma 17.
Yeah, they're a paladin type too.
Or.
Not even close.
Ooh. 16 comeliness.
Oh!
Woo!
Nice.
Although I did not choose this character because they're 11, 14, 14, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Undead Hunter. There you go.
I look really good, but I'm not good at doing anything else.
That is a perfect character to play.
That's all you need.
That should come pretty
You're
natural
basically
for you.
Gaston.
I can't
If
be that
Gaston
either.
couldn't do anything.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work. If that's the type of character it is that you want to play, we'll make it
Oh,
work.
I should just become
So natural for you.
Wisdom makes sense.
What are these rules on this last character? That's a third 17.
Dude, Dex is my undoing. It's where my dice start going cold.
Strength and
So,
wisdom are both
for the
16.
characters that we can do now.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So you were talking about wanting to be quote unquote a bruiser.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's benefits to
Where's the Hulk?
I'm on
a
5.
few different things. Well, the Hulk would be actually a half ogre fighter. Okay. Okay. So some of the benefits that you can gain if you play a straight fighter, it may seem boring, but the benefits to playing a straight fighter is they get what's called battle shout or demoralizing shout, which gives you the +1. You've seen some of the other players actually use that.
And taunt.
Well, taunt is yeah. You don't get that natively. You can ask for it. You can or choose it as a proficiency. The specialization that they get for one, they can double specialize, so they get +3, +3, +3 to hit, +3 damage.
Do you
And
get any stat boosts like you're saying, like those other ones? Like
some of the races do.
okay.
Okay. And as well, they also get multiple attacks sooner. Okay, with their specialized weapon. Whereas anybody else, like other classes, can specialize, but they don't get the extra attacks. So that's one of the benefits of having a straight fighter. Okay. A ranger is what Jeff and I were talking about. That's more of like woodsman and or a two-fisted fighter. An archer. So an archer is a neat class too. So that is strictly bow, but they are
I'm gonna
specific.
step away from the bow for a while here.
Yeah, understood.
Thank God.
You know, those ranged weapons.
I don't know what's up.
They're a little tricky.
I think it needs
It's just
All right.
like a little to it. Yeah.
We got it.
Knights, paladins, inquisitors,
I want to be a king.
a Knigget.
Silly English knights.
Knights are they're not necessarily holy fighters. That's what you would leave for paladins and stuff. But they are they're kind of designed around the concept of being what you would consider like a Knight of the Round Table, as an example. Okay, but they're not necessarily all the holy types.
Lawful good.
No,
They
knights
can-
don't have to be. That's the benefit.
Okay.
Okay, same thing with the cavaliers. Cavaliers are more of the heavy armor type horsemen kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Okay,
Like a cavalry.
right. Yeah.
Well behind you by so
Explain
much.
this. You can be a knight of the holy shielding and
I
not be
switched to
that
rolling with
class.
it
It's
with
its
my
own
offhand.
class too.
I'm rolling with
Yeah.
both hands.
So I can
Okay.
roll.
So-
My hands are big enough.
Knights of the holy shielding
Sure
and
they
knights
are.
of the
You know, bronze.
Stupid good.
high
The
forest.
sword.
So
Like he's kind of
Heart.
like a.
That's
I
what
do
I
that.
with.
It's not
necessarily good.
Yeah.
Like they're
I mean,
dumb,
I mean,
or like
the
you're using
I'm not worried about the
euphemism for how
alignment, so
good
to
they
speak.
are.
Okay.
Okay.
Potentially just.
And Ben, I will tell you, one of the rules that I definitely do have: no evil characters. Okay.
Wasn't planning on it.
You can get close.
You can ride the line.
Yes.
I tried to get as close as I could last time.
Saxon is really cool too because it's like a foot soldier. So it's like a cavalier, except they specialized in doing like foot troops. There's
Undead hunter. So that's what you're being? I'm gonna try that. Here.
Yeah.
There's this, all the different types.
that gives an
you can read about.
explanation of the different types of classes that are there.
Seems like.
And we will have to modify that. I don't know how if you want to like take something from
The
one
issue is I wanna
to that.
do
Is that how you were thinking
Yeah,
of
well,
doing it?
He rolls across.
Okay, so this is the one that you want to
Yeah,
this
so I
last
think
one.
this is good here, right?
I think I
Keeping
dropped
that.
the table.
I think that's good, and then so yeah, whatever. I mean, I'll go ugly. I don't care. I'm ugly already. So
You're beautiful inside, Jeff.
yeah, I know. Yeah, all my scars are on the camera right now.
That's a 3.
So this is a lot of classes I've never seen before. I would like to go martial for my first character in this new system that is new to me.
Okay.
So,
You're saying martial like in martial
yeah,
art?
like they fight up close. They're not spellcasters.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
You're
yes.
talking a fighter type. Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of these are part of the first and second edition group. Some of these are specialized to our campaign.
Okay.
Okay. Like the knight character. The knight character actually
Very frightening.
started off in the Dragonlance world. We took the concepts of it and we really adapted it to ours in the end.
Okay.
So, like Knights of the Holy Shielding, Knights of the Heart, Knight of Ulick, all of which are available. Some of the others are brought on by like computer games, like Baldur's Gate, like the Undead Hunter, the Avenger, and things like that. Actually came out of Baldur's Gate. We adapted it to tabletop types of play. And then some of the other ones that are there are from like Dragon Magazine, or they're from like Unearthed Arcana. So there's specific things like barbarians that were part of Unearthed Arcana. Bandits and Archer are out of Dragon Magazine, and we adapted them to these. Okay? So Rod actually has the one book that that has more of descriptions about what those character types are.
Yeah, because since I wanted to play up close fighter, I've seen the half orc, and it seems to be the only one that can go guardian.
No, Guardian is actually a halfling.
Oh,
is a halfling.
Where's the half orc you said then?
Oh, so half orc is here. So they have the option of being a fighter.
Oh, it's the one right next to it.
They have an option of being an archer. They can be clerics and specialty priests and crusaders. Crusader is almost like think of it as almost like a battle cleric.
Okay.
Similar to that. And then they have all of like the thieving types that are in there too. Bandits, bounty hunters,
that sounds awesome.
Swashbucklers as well.
That sounds awesome. Okay, I'll wait for the book to come around to me.
Yep. Actually, that one, I don't think I have that one, Jay. Would you send that over to me?
What's that?
The Swashbuckler?
Swashbuckler is my own creation. It's a kind of a stupid concept that was based on. It was based off of Bruce Campbell in Jack of All Trades.
Yeah, could you just send that to me in Dropbox, please?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it out on my PC as I'm in here. One sec.
Yep.
It's basically it's a fighting thief. They get con bonus as a fighter, and they can use non-thief weapons that are small, and they get some natural dexterity bonuses.
Yep. Don't they also have like some shipmanship?
Yeah, they have a lot of ship-to-ship. That's a Corsair.
Oh, the Corsair. That's what I was thinking of.
The Corsair. Hold on. Swashbuckler is it was very good at a dual-wielding thief, sneaking and backstabbing and stuff like that. I'm just going to I'm going to keep this Dropbox open because we're going to do stuff.
Yeah, and actually, if you don't mind, send me the Corsair too, because I know I don't have that one either.
Corsair is a subclass actually of bandit, actually, which is still a fighter subclass. One sec.
Yep. So do you have an idea, Ben, about the character type? Like, are you looking to be more like the knight in shining armor type? Are you looking to just be more like a mercenary? Are you thinking more on like the darker side of what do you have in mind?
I think mercenary to start out would be an easy place to start with, like the stats that I rolled up.
Okay.
So I got a lot of strength, a lot of dexterity.
Duelist. Be a duelist. Trust me.
Okay.
If you have a high strength and high dex, you want to be a mercenary.
Yeah,
Duelist.
be something else.
Not as a half orc.
Is that like a wrench?
It
yeah.
must be a half orc.
Well, I did originally, but we'll see. I don't know what all the classes are. This is a lot of new stuff for me.
If you have a high strength and dex, an archer, they're the two prime requisites for an archer class, and a half orc would be perfect.
Okay.
Half orc archer.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Now they're not going to be
archer.
they're not going to be like that frontline fighter. So that is
Yeah.
also dependent upon what it is that you want to do.
Yeah, I could work with that as well. I just don't. I know so little about how this game plays compared to the other versions.
It's not really that much different. Most of like, go ahead, Jay.
Archer's the only class in the campaign that gets 3 arrows per round at 7th level. So they're standard. They're nasty. They're nasty support troops basically, and they do a lot of damage, a lot of plus hit and damage.
Yeah, I mean, from what you would be used to for 5e, where you have like a kit, so to speak, that you would make.
Yeah.
These are almost like, think of them as almost like predefined kits. So they actually have specific types of traits that they gain the ability to do, and then we also incorporate what are called proficiencies, which are more of like the I forget what they call them in 5e off the top of my head, but they allow you to kind of give your character some abilities that they wouldn't normally have.
Right.
Okay,
right.
like taunt is a great one. So if you have a fighter that has taunt ability, it gives you the capability of insulting somebody, and basically if they fail a saving throw, they focus all their attacks on you, which is really great when you have a high dex and you have a really great armor class, because then they'll focus their attacks on you, probably miss, and everybody else can join in, so to speak, and beat the hell out of them. Okay?
Yeah.
I think my rolls, I might be better off if I get this priest.
Dude, that's just what I was thinking, because I got really high wisdom, constitution, and charisma on my last one here.
What'd you get for those wisdom?
17 on all of those.
Whoa.
But I don't really want to play Spellcaster for my first time, so...
16,
Okay.
16,
So
17,
for something
15.
like that, okay, because you have a 17 charisma, so that basically allows you to have access to just about any of the paladin and paladin subtypes. Okay, so Undead Hunter was one of them. That's one of the ones that Jeff actually chose. Another one is the hold on, the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor is a really, really cool class as well. The Inquisitor is in there.
Hey, am I super low? Because Geek Dice said he can barely hear me. Am I low? Just one
Not to us.
Oh man, you're so
Okay. Maybe it's just... All right, thanks, guys.
So, Marco.
Yeah.
I know we had some stuff in mind.
Yep.
Did that include class and all that stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to...
High wisdom. That's what you want.
Inquisitors and Undead Hunters are both subclasses of Paladin, but they don't have to be lawful good because
Change nothing else.
because
you would
they're
end
a little
up
bit
not having
different.
any other
Inquisitor
stats.
can be
Thinking
lawful
using that
neutral,
guy.
and if you were, and also lawful
then he's
evil
not high in
because
strength.
they're like you get the idea on what an Inquisitor is. So as far
So
as
unfortunately, I did have one
getting
character with
answers
an
out of
18
people.
wisdom roll,
Okay.
followed up by an 11 constitution. I think I've got a good middle of the road
He's
person.
got a lot of allergies.
I have a 16 wisdom that's kind of middle spectrum across the range. I have a 17 wisdom, but they also had like a 13 constitution. Fortunately, my wisdom
Actually,
when I roll
if you're going
high.
to play more of a fighter type, I'd probably take this one.
Take my highest strength.
Wait.
Well,
did
it's
I
not just
forget to roll
strength,
stat?
but he has a really good dexterity as well as constitution.
I didn't roll Constitution!
At all this whole time?
No, just for this one.
Oh, okay.
It was either that or I think
It's
my
like, this
highest
seems
rolls were this
small.
guy,
Yeah, I
but then
forgot
he's
to roll
not very good
Constitution.
strength wise.
Well, I mean, you don't have anybody.
Whoever does well with wisdom and dexterity would be that one. But
Yeah, see, this would be a
Intelligence, wisdom,
really
dexterity.
good, like
It was one of the ones
multi-class.
I was comparing between. Like, there's two that I'm really down to, and this was one of them, and I was like, wait a second.
That would be a really good multi-class character if you wanted to have, like I said, like a straight fighter. So this one would be really cool. So the concept that you could actually do is very similar to what Jokum was doing.
shield thing.
No. His other character. Start off with 4 weapons. Okay.
Oh.
If you specialize in a weapon, okay, that limits you to 3. You do two-fisted fighting, okay, as a proficiency with an 18 dex, okay, and you specialize in the other weapon, you'd be +1,
I was
+2
gonna laugh if you
with your
legit
primary
did roll
weapon.
Constitution again.
No, I
don't-
rolled it.
Two
I
hits,
thankfully
plus
rolled it
one.
for
You get
everything
to it,
except
and you
the
get 2
last
attacks per
one.
round as well. And your secondary hand, you're only -1. So if you did, like, let's just say that you
I
did
guess so.
longsword, short sword,
He'll alter
as an
something
example,
if he needs to.
okay?
I have no idea what it does. But
So you would be +1 to hit with your longsword, and if you did it as an
Do I
elf,
go with the character that has a 17
elves actually gain
wisdom,
+1 to hit
or
with
do I
both
go with the
longsword and
character that
short
has
sword.
better dex
So you would
stats
actually be
and
+2 to hit,
constitution
+2
stats,
damage with
and
your
has a
primary
15?
hand.
Wisdom.
and you
So
would
it's
be
+4?
even with your secondary
I
hand
don't know.
+4 and even.
What do you want to
Yeah.
play this
For
time?
2 visit fight.
Match
Yep.
With 2 weapons.
with 2 weapons.
That's pretty
And when
Somebody's
you got
gotta
4th
step into
level,
Neb's spot,
you could
huh?
double specialize, which would add an
not
additional
gonna be
+2
as big of a
+1
jerk.
for your.
Oh.
He didn't
Wow.
hear that.
Okay, once you reach 4th, you're and as an elf, or actually, I'd probably do it as a half elf, because then you
Human
don't
elf.
change, or human.
Half human, half elf.
Yeah,
Is that
half human or half elf. Or I would just do it as a straight human, and then you wouldn't change anything to your stats at all. The benefit to that would be is that you're going to gain +2 to your hit points. So if you start off as a straight fighter, you're going to have 12 hit points to start with. Okay.
What do you normally start with? That seems really
10. No.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, they're D10.
Not superheroes, Brian.
I know. It's just that's a big.
Can I hit the restroom?
Yeah.
And
Again,
Naz takes March
in
2
circles, I have like 1, 2, 3A, 3B.
Okay.
Those are probably the top 4 candidates in terms of what the character is.
You only
Okay.
have 6 candidates.
What?
Yeah. So if you
Only
did,
6 choices.
I know. Wow.
all right.
You've eliminated 2.
When you're good, you're good, Rod.
So
I've got like 2.
I think I have 2 as well.
2 candidates. I'm like, yeah, nothing.
My comeliness is going to
So,
be anything
but
between
then I don't
a
get
9
the bonus with the elf.
and
If
an
I just go
11.
straight human, you don't get the weapon bonus.
Very consistent.
Correct.
You gotta,
Correct.
You
So
gotta give yourself
this is
credit.
this is
I'm
what I
so
would do.
bummed. I wanted something
So if
above an
if you
11.
made him a Sylvan elf,
Oh, okay.
They don't have to
Okay.
be gorgeous,
Forest
but
elf,
I'd like
right?
them to
Forest
be
elf.
average.
okay, so they're actually stronger. So your strength would go to 16, which
Okay.
would give you +1 on damage.
Okay.
Okay, to start with, for your primary hand. Okay, your secondary hand you don't, you round
That
down.
makes sense.
Okay.
When you do
Constitution. I just
primary
don't know
and
if I
secondary.
sacrifice a bunch if I go
Okay.
down to the 15 and
Your
and
dexterity will go up to 19.
wisdom, opposed to 17.
Ooh.
Okay, which doesn't give you really any differences between 18 and 19,
I don't know
but
about
you
Greyhawk.
get to
Have to
laud
roll
that
on
over
your
everybody.
dexterity.
Yeah. Okay. Now your Constitution will go down to 15.
Oh, you
Actually,
lose
16.
one?
So you would lose a point because they're not as much. But that's what makes your dexterity go up to 19.
Oh, okay.
But hear me out. So you have +1. If let's just say that you did long sword, short sword.
Right.
Okay.
Two-fisted fighting.
So
long
you'd have
short sword.
two-fisted fighting.
And how many proficiencies do I get to choose? 2? Or more?
You get a total of 4.
Ooh.
Okay. Long sword, which you specialize in. Single specialized.
Ah.
Okay, so that gives you +1, +2. +1 to hit, +2 damage.
Mhm.
Okay. As an elf, because it's a longsword, you automatically get an additional +1.
Yeah.
Now you're +2, +2.
Okay.
Okay.
+2 to hit, +2 damage.
Right. You also, because you're specialized in it, you move up a slot. So now you also get 3 attacks every 2 rounds. So your first round, you get 2 attacks. Your second round, because you're two-fisted, the second round, you actually get 3 attacks.
Back to
Okay.
2 and then back to
Back
3.
to 2, back to 3. Back to 2, back to 3. Okay? Now, with your short sword, so you would take long sword, short sword, and two-fisted. Okay?
Mhm.
So you would be, literally, you'd be +2 to hit,
Oops.
+2
So is that
damage.
2 for longsword and specialized?
Yeah.
So those are 2 slots. 1 for longsword,
One for longsword,
special.
one for specialized.
Okay.
Short sword would be your third one, and two-fisted fighting is your fourth.
Okay.
Okay? With your short sword, normally, with your secondary hand, even at 19 dex, you would be -1 to hit with your secondary hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But because it's a short sword and you're an elf, you gain a +1. So you'd be even. Okay? So you'd be even. Okay? And you basically would have 5 attacks every 2 rounds. So that's 2
I like
and
it.
3, 2
Yeah.
and 3, 2 and
3,
3.
2, 2. Yep.
Okay? And actually, you would be... I take that back. You'd actually be +2, +3. Because your strength goes up to 16, you're +1 extra in damage.
Even
in your
on my
primary
second
hand. No, only in your primary hand.
Well, so that's this one. +2.
Yeah, so you would actually be +2 to hit, +3 damage.
Fumble.
Nothing and nothing. Okay.
On my second, yeah. Which
Now.
is fine.
Let's just say that you go... when you go up to
So when you say 3
third-
attacks,
Mhm.
that's
3
two-fisted
separate
fighting.
attacks. Yes.
it's 6?
No.
It's
It's 3. Because you normally, so two-fisted fighting gives you the ability to have an attack with each hand, each round. So you gain 2 attacks. Longsword, short sword.
Right.
Okay?
So how do I have 3? What am I hitting?
Because when you specialize, that moves you up a slot for number of attacks. So normally, a straight fighter gets 3 attacks every 2 rounds at 7th level. With a specialized weapon, you actually get 3 attacks every 2 rounds at 1st level.
And so that third attack, is that no modifiers? Or?
No, it's the same modifiers that you have. So you would gain the first round would be +2 to hit, +3 damage with your primary, nothing and nothing in your secondary.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so
that's
2 attacks. That's 2 attacks. The following round against the same opponent,
you get
gain
2
+2.
primaries?
Yep, you get 2 primaries and 1 secondary.
That's awesome.
Okay. Now, when you go to 4th level, okay,
3 primaries, 1 secondary?
you get no. But you can double specialize.
This is hard.
Oh,
Okay.
and long and short.
So this would go
I
from
literally
+2
have,
to
like, the
plus
two are, like,
plus 2
side by
plus
side,
3
and I'm, like, circling one
would go to
higher,
+4
trying to think of pluses and
Plus
minuses.
plus 4.
Let's go +4. Okay.
Okay. Or you could state single specialization, and you could take weapon finesse with your secondary hand with a short sword,
Oh, and boost that.
and it gives you your
secondary.
dexterity. So you would be +3. So you'd be +2,
I have to go with
+3,
this 'cause this is the
+3,
kind of person
nothing.
I think he
Mark, weapon finesse, you don't get your strength bonus at all.
He's not using it.
Oh, what's he got in his primary?
Primary is longsword. It'd
Oh,
be
he's an elf.
16. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, man.
Yep.
Sweet. I think that's what I'm going to do then. Sylvan Elf. So he's full elf.
Yeah, he would be a full-bred elf. So what you would do on your sheet is, so for class, you would write fighter, level 1.
I don't know if I need higher stats for what I need, but I'll look at that.
Okay.
Okay.
Race.
Race is Sylvan
I don't
Elf.
have anything for you, silly. Silly puppy.
Uh-oh. Someone's getting a chip.
Alignment, you can decide
She needs salt
when you
in
want.
her diet.
Okay.
I like
But for
that.
your stats, so you would have 16 strength. So in that box, yep. Actually, you lose a point of intelligence though too.
So 13 intelligence.
You'd be 13 intelligence. Yeah, because they're not as bright. 15 wisdom. 19 dexterity. 15 constitution. 12 charisma. And you'd actually be 13 comeliness because Sylvan Elves gain a point. Okay?
Okay.
Now, for here,
Longsword.
longsword, short sword, okay. Here, where it says specialization, you'd write longsword under number 1.
Number 1.
Yep. Okay. And then under proficiencies, you would write two-fisted fighting.
So then at 3rd, he can take finesse in the secondary hand.
Yep.
Or he can take taunt.
Yep.
And he can take improved two-fisted
So-
fighting, or he could take a lot of options.
So
Yep.
then when I write
Offhand parry, a
+2,
lot of things.
+2,
Yeah, so in your primary, you would be +2,
You said there's soda in the fridge?
+2,
Yeah.
+3.
to hit,
Yep.
Whatever. I mean,
+3 in
whatever's
damage.
in there.
+3 damage,
Yep.
and then secondary.
Theory is nothing
Nothing.
and nothing.
And I don't have to worry about small, medium. wide
Yeah, well,
range, or-
yeah, it's
oh,
one. Yeah, that's 1 to 8, 1 to 12 for longsword, and 1 to 6, 1 to 8 for short sword. Okay. The rest of the stats obviously will fill in,
Okay.
but now you have an opportunity. You can
Figure out my alignment.
figure out your alignment. You can figure out a name. I have a.
Are you gonna get? How do you armor class and everything again? Do you just
It's
assign
dependent. Yeah, it's dependent upon the armor and stuff it is that you actually have.
Okay.
So, if you're interested,
that? And I start at 12 points. I know, 12 hit points.
You roll a
you
die.
would start off with actually 11 because you're 15.
See.
What? You don't roll the die to see if he has 2 hit points?
Nope, not at first. You always start max at
Always
first.
max.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, because otherwise you end up with first level magic.
So I
you
get
just have 1 hit
22
point.
at first level as an undead hunter?
Not quite.
It's one die.
Yep.
10, right?
If you're interested,
10,
that's
right?
an NPC. That's a name generator.
There are 2 dice.
Undead was 10, right?
Yeah. Undead Hunter 10.
Looking at this Crusader class, it seems to be pretty good for my last
Yep.
stat block there.
Yep.
And that would be okay with this.
Absolutely.
campaign?
Actually, it'd be perfect.
Okay.
A Crusader
perfect.
would be perfect.
And half orcs can play that.
Yep.
Okay. I think
Crusaders
that's what
also
I'm gonna
get
go
weapon
with.
specialization too.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits Crusaders get. Like I said, think of them like battle priests.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you gain some clerical abilities, you gain some special abilities with it.
Can feel.
You gain some, obviously, spell-like abilities as well.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah, I play a half-orc Crusader. We have multiple groups for what we play. We have a group in, they're not the Harby Irregulars, right? McKelty and stuff. Which group is that?
The Harvey Irregulars are in Altamira. No, what am I saying? The Harvey Irregulars are the high level group in Harvey.
Okay,
Yeah.
which is the group that has McKelty and?
Yeah, no. That's a new group. That's geez, 1 sec. My brain is just fried. That is not the Windborn. What is it? The Hiltless Swords, right?
The Hiltless Swords. Yeah. So that group, I'm playing a half-orc Crusader who worships a deity known as Osprey, who is basically for sailors. He is specialized in trident, and he is like Bubba from Forrest Gump. So McKelty is the actor's actual name.
And I have a friend of his who's a dwarf fighter. Who's a sea rat dwarf, and the half orc and the dwarf hang out together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this will be a good class for me.
Yep.
Now, I guess I can. Once you're
An
done with that
important
book,
thing on
can I see it?
Crusader is if you take your alignment will
Can I see
determine
that
your
one?
spell list. You have to be a lawful or a chaotic alignment. You can be good, lawful, neutral, lawful, good. You can't be a neutral, good alignment or neutral alignment as a Crusader. It's kind of like you're picking your ethos, and it's kind of hardcore your ethos.
Yeah.
So lawful list is a little different than the chaotic list, and they have different benefits. So if you're chaotic good or lawful good, it'll make a huge difference on your on those spells. So
Okay, cool.
Yep.
No, I don't think so.
If I didn't roll
I'll take
the
it.
minimum, am I not able to do it?
We can work on it depending on what it is that you're looking to play.
I'm looking at potentially Wild Mage, but not necessarily.
Okay.
And my intelligence is only 15
Well, you can't be a wild mage
and a
then.
wisdom of 17.
switch them.
Switch them.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. So I might do that. Then.
Go from a
So what is it
conniving
specifically that Wild
thief
Mage
to a
does?
wild mage.
Okay.
They run around the woods with their arms up in the air, yelling.
Oh, I don't have that book.
I think that's true. My character is going to be named Rod. No.
You were gonna name her Rod?
Hmm?
You were gonna name Lucy
No, I'm
Rod?
going to name my character, my D&D character, Rod.
Give me my nickname. All those scratches. All those scratches. Like, kill.
So it says his initial weapons are 3, but then he's required to use a crossbow.
Yes.
So any type of.
Heavy or light crossbow.
Yep.
Okay.
It's based on Van Helsing, basically. It's
Oh, is it?
kind of.
Did you make this one up?
Yeah, I did.
I don't wanna be this, then.
Most of them are, a majority of them I tweaked somewhere.
All right, Amy.
And then Hunter and Inquisitor are both there's particularly from Baldur's Gate 2, but with changes. The Undead Hunter just made sense to make them different from a paladin. Their main weapon is the crossbow, right? It just makes sense. So when they fight with it against undead, their weapon becomes keen. So when you shoot a crossbow at undead, you crit on a 19 or 20, not just a 20.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is that because of the +1 to hit?
Actually, I probably would take 3A.
What's that?
I mean, I'm not.
Why do they
opposed
get
to
the
it.
Yeah, I would take 3A.
19
Because
and
for what
20
that
to hit
character
again?
is,
Yeah.
you know, they'll be able to wear heavier
Or
armor,
as a
so
crit?
the dexterity isn't as big of a deal.
Okay.
Constitution isn't the greatest, but that's okay. You know, that's not the end of the world.
I mean, I'm more than happy to take the only 18 I rolled.
Yeah,
Hey, Jay.
I do that one.
Yes, yes.
So why does the undead, for as far as the 19 and 20 as a crit, where does that come from?
For the crossbow, against undead.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
before you make a decision,
Okay.
Got it.
Undead with a crossbow. That's a special
It
ability
just
of the
sounds like
class.
the personality of the character that I had in
Yeah.
my head.
okay.
So with 2 specializations, obviously you want to specialize.
So
in your
this-
crossbow, and
Is the surge chart. So every time you cast a spell, okay, you have the potential of actually surging.
Okay.
Okay, so any of the ones you go level by level, and any of the ones that you see in bold, you would roll a 20-sided die. So at first level, if you rolled a 20, that means that you have a wild surge that happens. So the spell that you were going to cast doesn't happen. You actually have a list of all of the different things that can happen. So you could start smelling like a skunk. Your face could be blackened by a small explosion. Your hair grows 1 foot in length.
Oh my gosh.
The next phrase spoken by the caster becomes true, lasting for 1 turn. You fall madly in love with the target until a remove cursed is cast.
Oh
Yep. You may cause a wall of fire to go around you. The caster's feet enlarge, reducing movement to half normal and adding +4 to initiative rolls. Yeah, so it's like complete mishaps that can happen when you have a surge happen. Which, when you're in the middle of a big fight, is funny as hell, but can also be very detrimental. There's like one of them, I don't remember which one it is, but you could basically heal everybody within, and everybody, friends and enemies alike, within like a 30-foot radius.
You finally got the arch.
So the nastiest surge I've ever seen is my Wild Mage in our campaign cast a magic missile on someone, and everyone within 60 feet got hit with the same magic missile, which was 6 die,
Everyone.
4, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So it was like 13, 14 people got hit with it.
Yeah. But they also have some really cool spells. So they have one that is called Rowley's Wild Bolt, which is, think of it as almost like a super magic missile, so to speak. But it's like a one-shot, think of it as almost like a beam of energy. That, you know, if you may remember this, think of it as almost, we used, there's a cartoon that we used to watch when we were kids. It was called Star Blazers.
Yeah.
Okay? And the ship itself had what was called the wave motion gun. Basically, it would channel all the energy from the entire ship and shoot it in one direction and destroy almost anything that was in front of it. Okay? That's what Rowley's Wild Bolt does. So, effectively, what it's wild magic that gives you this one shot that can cause all sorts of damage. And now, you take damage from it, but for every point of damage you get, you do, what is it, 1d4, Jay?
Yeah, so you can do 1 die 3 plus 1 per level if you want. So say you're 7th, you can do 7 die 3 plus 7 on yourself. So say that comes to 18 points of damage. You just do 18 die 4 on your target, no save.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that can stop it is a shield spell or a like a magic missile. What do you call it?
Burst your shield.
Missiles will absorb it, but
Yeah.
that's about and a minor glow. But you know,
Yeah.
it's nasty.
But it's nasty. You can do a lot with it. Now, the other thing that's also really, really cool is they have a spell which is called Alternate Reality. I'm sorry, Alter Reality, not Alternate Reality.
No,
Alter
I think it
Reality.
is alternate reality.
Is it called Okay.
It's alternate reality. It's only 3rd level, I think.
Yeah. So, what's really slick about it is that, let's just say that your best friend in the party gets critically hit and instantly killed. Okay? You have that round to actually get to them and touch them and cast this spell. And what it does is it makes the last minute not happen. There's a reroll that actually happens.
Oh my gosh!
At that point. So it's like one of the best saving graces that you actually have, and only a wild mage has that spell. Nobody else has it. So it's really, really slick. Now, the only thing I will forewarn against you to play a wild mage is you typically don't have the best of luck.
Nice. Enlarge his feet, smells like stone.
Yeah.
I already have a completeness of 9. Where else is there to go?
So I think, I say that, but I think that that's the cool part of it, because I think that it will be really engaging in the actual game itself. So
I feel like I have to do it just because of the character in my head. That's what she would do.
That's fine.
I have to. Yeah, I want to do it.
Okay.
With all the risk.
I'm excited for that.
Oh my god.
For the half-orcs, it says that they get +1 strength, +1 constitution.
-2 on charisma.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's
basically...
confusing because the next sentence
I don't
says,
think you
note
need
that
it,
this
but-
penalty is in regard to
I
those
looked it up.
non-player character henchmen who are not themselves of half-orc race, so the initial unaltered charisma score should be recorded.
No, it's
Okay.
actually, yeah,
Cool.
that's how it's played. Is you take 2 off of charisma, you add 1 to strength and 1 to constitution.
Alright, cool.
So what am I being?
So you get to be a human
Yeah.
specialty priest
Yep.
of Fultus.
That's right.
Beautiful.
What in the world is
You
that?
get to join the people at Light's Reclaimed Pillar up
Yes!
Yes.
there, the crazies.
Not crazies, overly dedicated and zealous.
Yes.
Yes.
Depending on your point of view.
Yes!
There's only
Okay.
one path to truth, and that is
It's
straightforward.
perfect for the group. It's
Yep.
absolute-
Yeah, that's why I'm having Nick play that character. Have you ever seen... it was on Cartoon Network for a while. Do you know who Vandal Savage is?
No.
Okay, so in DC, Vandal Savage...
That's why I don't know who he is.
Oh, because you don't watch
No one
DC.
follows DC.
Oh, I follow DC a lot.
Okay, mine is Batman. I did love Batman.
Yeah. So, hence another reason why you would want to watch it. I'll just put it to you this way: do a look up on Vandal Savage.
Vandal Savage.
Yep.
I like the
Trust me,
name.
you will appreciate it.
I really like the name.
I want you to learn a new phrase too. Are you ready? This is what you need to say. Mark knows what I'm saying. One of the full team favorite sayings is the following: "Cold weather is Fultus's way of telling you to throw another heretic on the fire."
Okay.
Where does this all go?
Jeff, you should be a monk, I think, this time.
And name him Skagga.
1 Mennonite monk. Yeah.
That's funny, Mark.
You end up losing. Where do I put this stuff?
Okay, so-
I put that here for weapon attacks.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Keen weapon. Where did the keen go? He
So
would be proficient.
yeah, you have to be proficient in crossbow.
Okay.
Okay. You can just, if you want to put in parentheses, you can put keen or under proficiencies for
got it.
description.
Okay.
You can say it. Your smite undead
Would go down
as
here,
well.
too.
Yeah, you can put
Okay.
that. That's an automatic gain.
Got it.
Okay, and that's one of the ones that's a called shot. Okay, so you
So-
say, "Hey, I want to smite. You're fighting undead. I want to smite undead." And Jay, remind me, it's only hand to hand, right? You can't do that for missile
it's
weapons.
melee, and you have to state it before the roll.
Correct.
Okay, it's a smite. Yeah.
We can't cheat like you do and state it after the roll?
Well, when have you seen me play an undead hunter?
I haven't. When are you going to play an undead hunter?
I do have one. Her name is Samanda, and she's based on the wife of one of our former players. And she always says to everyone, "Talk to the hand." She's actually the daughter of the miserable woman in Greyhawk at the Lake Shieldlanders.
Oh.
She's Corellia's daughter.
Okay.
Yep.
So the specialty priest of Fultus is going to be in that book.
Kind of guessed.
Yeah. And I think
nail her alignment, but I don't know how to play it. So let's figure out if this is right.
Are we starting at level 1?
Yes.
Alright.
I don't know. Did you come up with a name for yours?
I don't care. I like to ponder it. But you should think of something nice
What do you
heretical.
think? Elmer Keeper.
Sounds like a heretic.
Oh my gosh, this is
It's cold in here.
Okay, so Nick, for you.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
No. Priest.
I think.
How about Buddy the Elf?
Oh, I feel like I don't know which of these is true. I feel like I'm gonna have to study this website to figure. Oh my gosh.
You guys don't have
My alignment, I don't know.
Do you? Oh, there it is.
Oh, okay. So for alignment,
Yep.
here you go. Lawful neutral.
Yep. I knew that was coming.
There you go. That's what you want to look at for alignment. Okay. So you have lawful good. You have the four corners.
Sure.
Okay. So lawful good is, like I said, think of like Superman, Boy Scout. Okay. All right. Chaotic good, which is you want good to happen, but you believe in individuality. Okay. Neutral good, you care about individuality, but you also care about the law, but you want kind of a balance between them. But as long as good happens, that's what you really do care about. Okay? So as we go down, lawful neutral, you don't really care for anything other than order. For the most part. Okay? It can be good, it can be evil, but you don't really give a rat's rear end how it happens as long as people are following orders, so to speak. And there's an order to things. Okay? So think of Dark Knight Batman. Okay? Chaotic neutral, you already know. You play Ilya. Don't give a shit about anybody except yourself.
Sure.
Okay?
And Neb.
Yeah. To a degree.
Only when they're hiding in shadows.
It's indulgence, yes, guys. It's really.
And then true neutral is, once again, kind of a balance of everything. You don't really care about good or evil. You don't really care about individuality or law. You're just kind of live and let live, if you think of it that way. Okay? Now, when you get down to the evil alignment, so I'm doing this for Ben's benefit too.
Sure.
So lawful evil, if you think of, like, did you see the Avengers? Okay. So if you think of Kronos. Kronos?
Captain America?
No.
Thanos?
Thanos. Okay? Doesn't care who gets in his way. He's going to destroy everything and basically have things rebuilt in the image that he actually wants, because he wants order brought to the universe. Okay? Chaotic evil, Loki at his worst day.
Sure.
Okay? Neutral evil is, think of like the worst serial killer in the world, whoever that may be. There's plenty of them that range up there. They don't really care about anything other than just pure evil at its worst.
Quick
I
question.
know it's probably a no, but I'm just reading and it's curious that one of the major spheres is necromantic in here.
Yeah.
Is that like legit?
Yeah, that is completely legit.
Necromantic though is just raising the dead and that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily controlling undead.
Yeah. Yeah, depends on the spell list. So each spell actually has a breakdown of the sphere that it fits in. So like healing spells obviously fall in
Percy
the
Weasley from Harry Potter. I'm like, I don't want to be Percy.
I don't have them all in there as of yet.
Okay.
I do have them. I'm planning on reloading them to the Dropbox so that way you can see. Because I was redoing them for us.
Okay.
So on the spells,
Does anyone else want
it
to
says
look at
first in invisibility to
I already looked
undead.
at it, thank you.
That's-
That is a
I get
special
that
ability.
At first
At
level.
first level.
I get that spell.
Yes.
It's not
Yep.
a first level
It is an
spell.
ability,
So
it's
once
not a
per
spell.
use.
So
Yeah. So under
Gotta go.
yeah. So what
What are my options?
you would typically do is here under innate abilities.
got it,
So
got it, okay.
right down here you would write invisibility to undead.
Got it. And then when I'm second level, I would put.
Yeah, and you can put them. Yeah, you can put them in
Okay.
whatever order it is that you actually want.
Got it.
Yeah, Jeff, at higher level paladins get, like at 4th level paladins get priest abilities, spells, you don't get them. You get these instead.
Okay.
Trust me, when do you see what Sunrise and Searing Lake do?
Well, I just saw that one. That's the one where Gandalf pulled on the trolls, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
Something
nasty.
like that. Well, no, he broke the rock and then
False
Sunrise.
Dawn's the nastiest of them all.
Yes.
ninth level.
Before I write this down.
Yes, specialty priest is your class, and you would say specialty priest of Foltus.
Yep.
Pholtus.
Yep.
Oh, none of these sound right. What am I thinking of?
What is an alignment language?
So think of it as almost like religious slang. Okay?
Okay.
So, like, a Catholic would know what,
Tabernacle is
yeah. Well, a Jew would.
raised Catholic.
Yeah. A catechism would
Catechism
would be a
example.
good Catholic reference. Okay?
I'm currently Catholic.
And so it's not necessarily that it's a spoken language, it's more of an understanding. Like you would carry on a conversation, so to speak,
Okay.
with somebody
Okay.
in that. And you wouldn't like be leading with that. It's not like you walk up to a whole bunch of people and start talking in alignment language.
Right.
Like if you're participating in like a holy ritual event, chances are you would probably have like alignment languages going on.
Right.
Like thieves have in addition to alignment languages, they have what's called thieves' cant.
I do
Same
know that, yeah.
same kind of concept.
Okay, cool. And like lawful good, is that the alignment language, or do you know lawful and good alignment language?
No. Lawful
Just
good is
lawful.
the
Right.
alignment language.
Cool.
I feel like this person's true neutral.
Can I actually write my real numbers in the
Yes.
the things, and then we do the plus?
Well,
I can
as a
write-
human, your stats don't change at all.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There's no modifiers.
There's no modifiers. Correct.
Do
That
I have
makes
to
it
write
easy.
it down and then put the modified version? Because I already have the modified versions here.
Yeah, if you already have the modified versions, that's
cool.
fine.
Cool.
Now, this is going to be the one difference. So, what's your charisma for that character?
13.
13? All right, so add +1 to your comeliness.
Okay.
Okay? And Ben, as a half-orc, you're already -3 on off of your comeliness.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. And then what's your charisma?
It's 17 right now, so it's 15 total, right?
That might have to change because I don't think a
Yeah.
half-orc can have that high.
Oh, really?
Throw an
13,
extra hammer
13
in
is
bag.
the... Oh, no, sorry.
What's he have?
He has 17, but technically
Comeliness? Charisma?
charisma.
Wow. Yeah,
But
he's
tech-
he's
yeah.
got more human blood in him.
Yeah. Don't worry
I
about
don't think it's a problem.
Okay. Okay.
it. Charisma's hardly used that much anyway.
Cool. So.
In 5th edition, it's used heavily,
Yes, it is.
but in 1st and 2nd, it's not.
Are there any other maximums I should know about then? Because I rolled pretty high on this one.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about it. We'll just say that your human counterparts took over.
Cool. So really, this means like what I roll is what I roll. When
Yeah.
I'm rolling things. There's no...
As a human, yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Darn it. Intelligent undead are able to sense me.
Watch out for those liches.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, not even that. Ghouls, gas. Not ghouls, but gas, wraiths,
Yeah. Basically,
shadows.
Ghasts up.
They're coming after you, buddy.
yeah.
Rainbow fingers?
Yeah. Not quite. Yeah, that is the one drawback of being an undead hunter,
I'm done with
is
it.
that they can sniff you out, and they're going to come and attack you first.
Now what if I'm cloaked in a skunk smell because somebody rolled that?
You're welcome.
Well, undead don't have any olfactory capabilities, so they're not really going to care.
You're welcome.
Actually, the ghasts will probably join you because you'll smell just as bad as they do.
You're welcome.
Kind of pungent,
All right.
like somebody
Rod,
with
any
toxic
questions over
bacteria
anything?
got a hold of you a week ago.
I'm just
For your-
the name.
Don't
Go on
think of it.
Pinterest.
Think of it for.
Yeah,
Jeff,
come on.
Spend some
Jeff,
time.
Jeff,
really
we take a
digging on it.
specialization.
I went to
first of all,
Pinterest and have an idea.
What?
I think I decided if I'm settled.
What's that?
You get multiple attacks against undead.
Say that again.
Take a specialization.
You
Take
get a
it with me.
specialization, right? You get three weapon proficiencies. You'll probably take the crossbow to the melee weapon.
Yeah, we can do those right here.
Because then you're 3v2 related against undead. So say you're fighting a zombie.
So it doesn't matter because
Yeah.
it's based on the class.
Yeah, you
So,
get one
for-
attack and 2
Yep.
attacks.
As far as
Yeah,
I'm
as a fighter. So for poison, paralyzation, and death
As
magic,
far as the
it's 14.
specializations,
That's good.
Right.
It's right 14. Here.
For all
No.
these?
That's why I'm literally
14
on
there.
this website with this much
14.
information on what a neutral
14.
alignment is.
Is that what I have to roll under?
This we have to roll over.
I want you to know that I'm
It's
doing
first
this right.
level. You got to remember. Okay.
I just found it when I searched it. It's like it's called Easy
where's
Davis
that at?
or something.
Do you have
And it
that
has
on the
all the
Dropbox?
alignments on
The
here and like
specializations.
examples and their. Like,
Oh,
their
you mean the,
command names,
proficiencies?
and it's excellent.
Proficiencies.
Proficiencies are in that book,
That's
but
how
it's
I
on the
like
drop.
Jay's
It's on the
talking about?
Dropbox
Actually,
too.
true neutral. This is weird.
What folder is that in? The share?
I didn't expect to be
Party
like
share?
right down the middle. But I
Yep,
think I
should be.
am.
Should be on the JMS D&D one. Okay.
Right, do you need that? Do you need something else in Dropbox?
No. I have the proficiencies up. And give me a second. I'll bring them up here. Let me help
gotta
you out
be
first.
it.
15 for petrification.
I feel good.
It's worse.
16 for rod staff wand.
Worse.
17 for breath weapon and 17 for spell.
That's stuff that I need to know as well.
You're a crusader. That's different. That's actually clerical.
Can I
So
turn any undead?
no,
Crusader fights on the fighter table.
but they save on the cleric table.
I don't
Yes. Yes.
What are the approved gods for this campaign so that I can worship one?
So okay, so you
Oh,
can
I
choose
see.
from any of the Greyhawk deities.
Okay.
Okay. Obviously to fit in that alignment, whatever alignment it is that you're choosing. There's also another book, and I don't think. Do you have Legends and Lore over there?
Legends of Lore was.
Or Deities and Demigods?
Yeah.
Is chaotic neutral too much?
No, not at all.
Do it.
And are there any alignment restrictions on race?
No.
Cool. Lawful good then. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm fucking piling books around.
Now, what I will tell you is you're probably not going to pick an orcish deity
Okay.
because orcish deities
Yeah.
are evil.
Yeah. I assume.
They kind of frown upon having a lawful good
Yeah.
worship.
I assumed as much, but that's fine. That's
But
kind of what I
any of the other ones that are there, and that's part of the character development, is that you can, like, if you wanted to, out of there are like American Indian ones. You want to go and worship an American Indian and say that he was like half American Indian, so to speak. You can do
Yeah,
that.
there are.
Mark, what class is he? They have for?
Crusader.
Oh, geez, that really could be almost anything.
Yeah. There's
Just
all.
like anything in this book.
Yeah, practically.
That's my alignment.
And that's
I would
not.
go with I go with what deity you want to follow based on the alignment. That
Yeah.
would be the best way to decide that. That's good.
Yeah, so a very good one that would be from that area is if you look at the Finnish mythos. So like Ukko, Ilmater, are both lawful good.
Succotash.
Yeah.
It depends if you want to be a battled god, if you want to be a healing god. I mean, that's that's where I'd look at.
Yeah.
You want to be chaotic. I mean, you could be Cord the Brawler, right?
Yeah.
So-
neutral.
I have like the
Specializations.
most
I
constitution,
thought it
so
said.
I'm definitely going to choose one that's like warrior god.
I thought it said
Okay.
+1 to
You could
hit,
choose
+2
Issachar the
to
Jug.
damage.
Just look that one up.
I thought it was +1
that Finnish?
+2 to hit.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Now,
it is.
Issachar the Jug is Melnibonian, isn't it?
So what was
Is
he
it?
saying?
Yeah, I don't see it here.
Crazy, yeah.
So how many proficiencies do I get at?
Okay, so you start
Oh,
off with
name
3.
one. I always
If you
forget.
decide
One
to
of
take
the two.
specialization, that brings it down to 2 weapons. Specialization as one of them.
Which crossbow, right?
You can choose crossbow if you want. You just have to be proficient in crossbow. So what you would do, the weapon proficient, this is the number,
Oh.
not the type.
So it's proficient in 1, right?
No, you're actually if you're going to specialize, you'd be proficient in 2. Crossbow is one of them.
Okay.
Okay.
And whatever melee weapon you take.
Whatever melee weapon. So let's just say if you decide to take longsword, just as an example. So you'd have longsword here, You'd have longsword here under specialization. You'd be +1 to hit. You'd actually be +3 damage because you have a 16 strength.
Okay.
And then you get multiple attacks against undead with the longsword.
Right. All right. Did you have a question, Amy?
I don't think so. Not yet, at least. Just...
So, Nick, you looking up Vandal Savage?
No, not yet.
Was longsword in here? Sword and broad?
No, these are actual. These are special proficiencies. These are extra ones that you could take. So let's just say. So for instance, if you wanted to only take crossbow and have absolutely no missile weapon, no other melee weapon whatsoever, you could do that.
Okay.
Okay. If you decided to specialize, for instance, in crossbow, as an example, you could then take a separate proficiency. Okay. Now, and that was one of the things that Nick was doing. He took extra spell slot. He only had one for Neb, and then realized I don't really have anything that I can fight with at that point. If you get in the hand to hand, yeah.
Oh shoot! I need a weapon.
Okay.
So it's stuff like that. So you can pick one of the proficiencies if you so choose to do so, in lieu of doing a specialization. But if you want to be kind of upfront, more engaged,
so I can
having a specialization would be better.
So technically, I would still put crossbow and then
whatever your other
longsword
weapon is.
Okay,
Yep.
So crossbow.
Yep.
And a longsword sounds good.
And then choose either light
And
or
then-
heavy crossbow, because there is a difference.
Jeff, are you going to be a shield wielder or not? Because if you're not a shield wielder, then I would
take
go a two-handed sword.
Two-handed, yeah.
If you're going to use a
Or
shield,
pole
then
arm.
I would go maybe try bastard sword.
What'd you call me? So two-handed sword, you were
Just an
saying?
example,
Or is bastard
you
two-handed?
can wield that
Bastard can
one-handed.
be one or two-handed.
That's a long sword, but when you wield it two-handed, that's 2 to 16 against giants and stuff
Okay.
like that. So
It's like what Jokum's-
another style.
Character uses. He uses a bastard sword, but he's using it one-handed.
Okay. I don't need a stinking shield. So what's the difference between... So I have to say I'm proficient in a heavy crossbow versus light?
Versus light. The difference is the amount of times that you can actually fire. Difference in damage. So for instance, a light crossbow does 1 to 8. 1 to 8. Heavy crossbow does 1 to 10. 1 to 10.
I like heavy.
Okay. But you get to fire every other round
With
with a heavy crossbow.
every other.
Every
so
other.
A light
A light, you get to
is
fire
better
every round.
Every round.
Because it takes time for you to actually take it, recock it. And a heavy crossbow, because of how big they are, a lot of times they have a crank on them.
Yeah.
You can't pull it back with your hands because you'd slice right through your hands. The sinew.
But if he becomes specialized in it at 7th level, then he's one every one, but at 7th.
Correct.
So the specialization actually is +1 to hit, and then plus 2 to damage.
Right. Not
Now-
with crossbow, though.
That's for
with,
crossbow, right?
That's for two-handed sword.
Crossbow's
Oh.
+2/+2 at point blank, +1/+1 at short.
Right.
Different.
Where
If
would
you
that
if
be?
you specialize with it.
Yeah. And it then increases your ranges by 30 feet in all ranges as well with this specialization.
So it would really depend if you would rather be better hand to hand, or you would rather stay back and just fire your crossbow, and then you're just regular with hand to hand.
I mean, I want to be able to fire my crossbow with my right hand and swing with my bastard sword in my left hand.
Not quite.
So the two-handed sword would be +1 to hit. Then that's my
You would be +1 to hit.
specialization.
Plus,
+2 damage.
yeah,
and
you'd
that's-
actually be plus. You'd actually be +4 damage because your strength is 16.
Okay.
Okay. You normally get +1 with it, but because because it's a two-handed
I
weapon,
go
you
to
actually
Pinterest
double.
and just search
So,
character
okay.
names. It's
So
much
you'd
more
be +1 to
interesting.
hit, +4 in damage.
Okay.
Because if you search
And
character
then
names, they give you the
small,
more
medium,
interesting
that
names.
was 1 to
That's
10.
1 to 10, 3 to 18. Yeah.
I'll get to
The only detriment is you're not going to be a shield wielder, but with you, I don't think it's that, because you're going to be immune to a lot of undead
You ever
effects.
seen this?
Yeah.
So you're not really worried. And all undead's -2 to hit you. It's kind of like a paladin. Equals -2 to hit. For you, it's undead is -2 to hit. Even neutral ones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, shield's just, I mean, that doesn't do nothing. You can't use it, right?
Not as a weapon.
It only adds armor class, right?
It gives you better armor class, yeah. And you can always don a shield at any time you so choose.
So then coming back to
with your two-handed sword,
I get
+1 and +4 damage now.
So you would say, specialization, you would have two-handed sword.
Yeah, next till I'm a ghost today. Yep.
And then crossbow, right?
No, you're not specialized in crossbow.
So far, I have under loves.
Okay, so take the +2
libraries.
Oh.
So we're doing great.
Okay. So that doesn't come off
correct
on that. So,
Dove deep on
but as an undead,
into your well of creativity.
Basically,
you're proficient in it no
my
matter
idea
what.
is
Got it.
create
It's
a
just that
character
when you
based on
fight
Hermione
undead,
Granger.
you're actually keen
That is what I'm going for.
with it.
okay, so that's the plus.
That's
But,
the
you know,
19
less
20
Right.
if I use that
Correct.
versus okay. Got
She's
it.
not Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Now,
And then the only other difference between light and heavy is just the ranges. Like a heavy
So
crossbow
you're
obviously
further than I
has
am.
much better
Well,
farther.
when he mentioned a few weeks ago we needed new
so
characters, like,
then
what-
as
what
far
kind of
as if
character
I'm
do I want
doing
to play? I was
two
like,
proficient
Hermione
weapons, I
Granger
get one
sounds fun.
specialization now, right? Or
Start with
that is your specialization.
Got
So
it.
so you gain basically think of it this way: you have 3 slots.
got it.
You took two-handed sword. You took specialization in two-handed sword. And
Got
you
it.
took light crossbow.
Okay, got it.
Those are your 3.
Now, as far as proficiency down here, that was the crossbow, keen,
Yep.
smite undead,
Yep.
complete immunity to level versus
Yeah.
stats draining.
Yep.
That's 9th level. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna figure out.
Okay.
And as a human, I don't get any of this extra stuff up here, right?
Correct. Yeah, your stats are whatever your stats
So
are.
that's
So whatever
just
your
that.
yeah. So
Got it.
whatever you break out that way. What was I? Something I was going to show on screen. Somebody was asking for something. Oh, it was the Foltest spell list.
Also, a good start for looking up names is put words in Latin and see what they actually are. That's my like go-to when I don't know how to name a character. Is I just do things in Latin. I'm like,
It's a really good technique.
I was like, what does this look like in Latin? Oh, that sounds like a name. Let's do it.
Kaput is actually German, not Latin.
So Nick, this is the actual spell list. I don't know why the screen is showing it this way, but typically speaking, you know, at first levels and stuff, you're going to do.
Oh, I need the binder back. I have to look at my spell list options. Oh, you have it. Sorry.
Yeah, I've just been hoarding it because I'm trying to understand how the system works.
Don't worry, I have never
Drag this
used
to the right.
all my characters before did not use magic because I didn't understand the magic system, which is why I'm forcing myself to use magic this time. And I'm like, I still don't understand the
So,
magic.
I just
obviously,
have really good wisdom and intelligence. I'm like,
you know, cure light wounds is a
Yeah,
normal
right.
thing, but doing things like armor contingency, that's a really cool one. So let's just say that you're sleeping at night, okay, and somebody's on watch and somebody breaks through the barrier, okay. You can cast armor contingency and instantly you have your armor on. Okay. Bless is another really good one. So that gives everybody within that radius a plus to hit.
60.
Yep. Call upon faith. So that one gives you. Is that the one that's plus to your strength, dexterity, or con?
It's to any die roll, actually. Saving throws and stat rolls based on per level. So at that first level, it's probably +1.
Which is the one I'm thinking of that debilitates you after?
Redemptive redress?
No. No, you use it. It lasts for so many rounds for strength, dexterity, or con, and then after the spell is over, you're basically like wasted for a number of rounds.
Righteous Wrath of the Faithful. Something
No.
like that.
Call Upon Holy Might.
Yeah, Call Upon Holy Might.
Call Upon Holy Might. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, so there's all sorts of different things. And actually...
So now, explain to me. So as I'm looking at this, I'm going to have a spell book, and it's going to have...
No, because as a cleric,
okay,
these are all the spells that are available to you.
so I have access to all of
All of these in
level
first
one.
level.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
I have to kill a rabbit.
Nice.
Oh my gosh! What the heck
Yeah.
have I done?
So I'll make sure to add this to
I have to kill
the
bunnies.
JMS one.
Excellent.
So what is this abbreviation next to the wild magic spell list? So like the GS versus TM.
So GS means the should be the Great Net Spellbook, I believe.
Okay, because like I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Great Net Spellbook. TM is Tome of Magic.
Okay.
Both of which are in the Dropbox.
Okay. Let's see what you do. Because I don't want the one where I have to kill a rabbit.
Yeah.
Rabbit.
So this is the one I was talking about.
Okay, that's
Holy
level
Wobble.
2.
Yep.
Got it. We'll those later. I have to see.
So what items do we start with? So I can determine like armor class and whatnot.
So effectively, the strongest armor that everybody is going to start with, if you're a fighter type, is going to be chain, or chain and shield.
So much
Undead?
Constitution, I just want to
Hunter?
tank every
Yep,
hit.
same
So I'm
would
gonna
be
take a
chain.
Yep.
Figuring out magic is going to drive me up a wall, which is why I'm making myself do it. I also have to connect my new computer to the Dropbox. Because it's only on my old computer. So I figure that out later.
Okay, that's out there. Nick.
Bill just said you're too generous for starting with chainmail.
He's just used to you being a DM.
Yeah, Bill. Why don't you go and build the stuff that Jay needs?
You should, the final battle terrain is really coming together nicely. So
I bet.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to be done.
Would be nice to see on Instagram.
Oh. Yeah. Well, he's trying. He's
I know.
He's doing his thing.
I know.
He's doing his thing.
How much is that going to cost to ship over here so we can use it?
Why? We got a master crafter in you. You should be able to build your own.
Oh.
Better one.
Hey, I got a cave.
I haven't even told you the funniest story yet.
What's that?
You guys are driving to Gen Con, right?
Yeah.
Good. You get to load up your car of all your stuff then, because I'm flying.
What stuff am I loading up? I got 4 houses, 6 houses.
All of it. Everything you can, because I promised Shane I was going to DM for him out there with figures and terrain and stuff. I'll bring the figures.
Well,
I'll bring plastics.
I got 4 months to build stuff.
That's like 6 months away, right?
Might as well just rent a place in Indianapolis now, so you can start building house size.
There you go.
Look at
Jay, just rent a place in Indy, and we'll just start stockpiling it there.
Well,
Ahead of time.
we are renting a place in Indy, but it's only for that week.
I'm saying beforehand.
Nah, man. I'm spending enough as it is. Going to go to GaryCon next year, too. They pushed it back a couple weeks, so it's later in the month now. So. Bill's working on terrain as we speak, he says.
Awesome.
So spell list aside, should I be working on anything else?
No, because like I said, the majority of everything that we're going to be doing for the stream is really going to be more about roleplay than anything else. So I just think about your character development. Don't worry about the stats and stuff like that. There'll probably be some sort of fight, but it'll be nominal. Okay? Yeah, so it's more about thinking of your character's background. Okay? Yeah, I want you guys to go ahead and take your sheets home. Okay? That way you get to think about them a little bit. And then obviously, as you guys have questions, please feel free. Raise them as you see fit.
Can I just choose whatever Thaco I want?
No, not quite. Your Thaco is actually 19.
Thaco for Ben's sake,
The
do you want to
definition of
explain?
Do they not have that
action
in
is
Fifth?
actually has 3 other definitions.
What
Did
did
that answer your question?
No, Echo.
Did she say?
What is
ass
Thaco?
atrophy? I swear she said
The
ass
noun
atrophy.
taco is usually defined as an often crisply fried tortilla folded
Oh, there you go.
seasoned hot meat.
Okay.
All right, perfect explanation.
So,
Thanks,
Echo,
guys.
stop.
So Thaco is it's an acronym for to hit armor class 0.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in the old days, let me bring this up here so that people can see.
It's Thaco Tuesday.
I
There
was
you go.
wondering about it.
Yep.
I'm making him explain this because I still don't quite understand.
How generous.
Bill loves Foltis people, right, Mark?
Oh yeah, that's like his favorite.
To hit armor class.
Come on.
So Mark, what other classes y'all have?
Right now, there's a straight fighter, there's a specialty priest of Foltis, there's a crusader, there's a wild mage, there is an undead hunter, and I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do yet.
It sounds like a rogue to me.
Yep, probably.
There's a lot of options on that, though.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and part of that is because I want everybody to play what they want to play, first and foremost.
Yeah, and that's the way you
You
should
know.
do it. I mean, you could make a multi-class thief if you had to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do the fighter mage thief, fighter cleric thief, fighter triple class.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have all the classes backed up.
Yep. This is painful. All right, I'll do it this way.
What are you going to do, Jay?
I am going to do as of
Nothing.
now. I'm not going to do anything. It depends on where the adventure goes, and we'll do the NPCs in, just like we did last time with Bladestorm and Candace, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So I may do a Night of the Holy Shielding. I may do a Night of Ulick. I may do.
All right. So I know that this may be a little bit harder to see, but so the way First Edition works is it has a set of matrices that you use. Very similar, okay, like the D20 concept. Except armor class is a little bit different in First Edition. So armor class 0 is kind of like the middle of the chart, okay? And you go from there up to armor class 10, which is the worst, to negative 10, which is the best, okay? So, for instance, chainmail and shield by nature is armor class 4. Okay? And then from there, depending on the types of armor it is that you actually use, your armor class goes up or down. If you have dexterity, your armor class goes down. Down is good. Okay? Up is bad. Yeah. So Thaco to hit armor class 0 means the type of class it is that you are. It is what it is on this matrix for you to hit armor class 0. Okay? And from there, you can basically judge effectively what it would take to hit a armor class that's up from there or an armor class that's down from there.
Right.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Plus 10 to hit armor class 0 then.
Yeah. So obviously at lower levels, you're going to suck. Okay? But you're probably not going to face you're not going to face stuff that is going to be armor class 0. Okay? You usually face that probably around maybe
Well, if it's only supposed to last a day,
4th or so. Not
maybe
quite.
we should face stuff that's.
And it's specifically for melee combat. So like fighter types, obviously they go up faster as far as like on the matrix for hand-to-hand combat. So their to hit armor class 0 or THAC0 gets better quicker than everybody else. Okay? So theirs changes basically every odd level. Whereas like a thief, theirs doesn't change until 5th level and then doesn't change until 9th. If you're a mage, it doesn't change until 6th and then like 11th.
Okay.
You know, and stuff like that. Cleric is like 4th and 7th and so forth. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's not anything to really be completely concerned about, because effectively what I'll tell you is that as battles are going on, I'll give you what it is that you actually need to hit, and then you roll 20-sided die, and then based upon that and whatever bonuses it is that you actually have. So as a for instance, we'll take Rod's new character that he has. Okay? So his new character is a straight fighter at 1st level. Okay? So based upon what he actually is, he is +2 to hit with his first weapon. Let's just say, forget two-fisted at this point. He's just fighting longsword. Okay? So he's +2 to hit because of specialization and because he's an elf. And he's +3 damage because of specialization and a strength bonus. Okay? So let's just say that he's attacking somebody that is wearing chainmail and shield. So that's armor class 4. So I would look, he's 1st level. To hit armor class 4, he needs a 16 total. Okay? So he would roll 20-sided die, and as long as he rolled 14 or above, he would hit. Okay? Because he's +2 to hit. Okay? Anything below that, he misses.
Okay.
And that would be that attack for that round. Okay? Now, if he's fighting somebody that's in plate mail and shield, that's armor class 2, now he needs a total of 18 or more to actually hit. Okay? And so it scales up and down based upon that concept. So in the original D&D, that's just basically the matrices that they actually wrote before the D20 concept really came out. And so it expanded, like the higher the number, the better off it is that you are. And, you know, essentially went to a concept where everything basically stacked, like all your bonuses and so forth stacked to against that actual armor class it is that they have.
Okay, that makes sense. For my armor class, and then I have the shieldless AC. For the no dex AC, if I have no dexterity bonus, which I don't,
It doesn't change. That's 4.
It's just a 4.
It's just still 4.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. And then I assume the rear AC. I assume that means like if
that
you
means
someone's
no
behind
shield.
you, there's
Yep.
no shield.
No
so
shield
it's
and no dexterity bonus.
5.
Yep. Exactly.
Cool.
If you're surprised, if you fall and you're stunned, you know, that's when your rear armor class comes into play. Someone's backstabbing you successfully.
Right.
That's
Right.
when they're hitting your rear armor class.
Okay.
Yep. So the only, let's see, chain, nothing.
Chain.
Because as a straight mage,
Yep. That's what I thought.
that's the one downside about straight mages. But
It's not the only downside. We've got a list going. It's not changing my mind though.
You're chaotic, right?
She can cast a surge at 1st level with that one spell mark.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wild mage.
Wild mage. That's
My alignment is neutral.
well, that's what I meant. I meant wild mage. Yeah. Chaotic.
Yep.
Wild.
now the benefit will be is that you'll also be able to do, because of the rules that I've instated, you'll also be able to do cantrips, and you also have additional spells. So you're not just going to be limited to just a singular spell. If you cast it at the very beginning, and then you're kind of twiddling your thumbs for the rest of the adventure.
Good, I'm glad.
Will cantrips trigger the surge ability?
Not sure yet.
Oh goodness!
All right.
Not sure yet. I'll
Probably
determine.
shouldn't have asked.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
because
come
a lot
up
of,
sooner or
because
later.
like I said, in a lot of cases, cantrips are really meant to be that sleight of hand. So
Yeah.
as an example.
Yeah, 'cause I don't really know what cantrips are, so.
Low repair.
They're like little spells. They're not like major spells. So as a for instance...
See a potato chip?
That's a good cantrip. Potato cantrip.
Okay.
It's gone.
So they have, in first edition, when they came up with cantrips, they had like different categories. So like the first category was called useful cantrips, which I don't know if they're really useful or not. But they would have things like clean. So it basically is a magical way of cleaning something. Okay.
Shorts. Like
Your shorts. Like the paladin's underwear.
Hold on.
Color allows you to actually bring color to an object. So, for instance, if you want to change the color of somebody's water,
Make it blue.
yeah, okay.
Here.
Dampen or dry,
Blue.
okay. So if you do dry, for instance, let's just say that somebody spilled water on themselves, you could cast dry and it would dry the water off of it. So they're not intended to be super powerful types of things, but they're just like useful kinds of things. So other stuff like salt, prime example. So instead of trying to get like salt at the table, you would just do a cantrip with salt, and it would add it to the food to actually flavor it. Or spice, or stitch, or polish, or tie, or untie. Curdle, as an example, these are reverse cantrips. So just as much as you have useful ones, they have the opposite. So like dirty or dusty, or different things that you can do, and they pretty much explain themselves. Mm-hmm. And that was the ones that you would have for like first edition. Okay, you can do like haunting sounding things like whistles or thumps or footfalls or a groan. And that's what I said. These are like things like if you think of like a modern day magician that knows how to do a card trick really, really well. Okay. It's kind of like I said, that sleight of hand types of stuff, or being able to do those little kind of creepy things that just about every mage would know how to do. Mm-hmm. Okay. Like being able to, I don't know, float something in the air. Mm-hmm. Like a little ball or an apple or something. Like, there's an apple on the other side of the room, and instead of walking over, you do a little cantrip and it floats over to you. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff. Okay? Now the 5th edition ones, which I'm going to incorporate in, are like little damage types of spells. So they can do things like
Flick.
Poke. A little bit more extensive than that. So there's one like that I read that was like a little acid puff cloud, as an example, or like you can light your finger and like point it at them or something, and it would do like a little bit of fire damage to them, or like cold damage, or stuff like that. Okay. But then you also have the option of using the useful types as well, which is really, really great for like role play. Mm-hmm. As an example.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what he comes up with for Neb.
Oh, I still have access to Neb at some point. Huh?
Oh goodness.
We have access to our other?
No, not for. Oh.
Yeah, not for this. Now, the intent will be that obviously we'll play. You'll have either group, and I'll be doing adventures for either one to be prepared for either group. Mm-hmm. Okay. What I'd like to do is I'd like to leave it up to you guys to see which group it is that you would want to play. Okay. Honestly, because if you don't feel like playing the slap for a little while, that's okay. You can play this other group instead. Mm-hmm. And then as they grow in levels and so forth, we'll probably do this whole exercise in the future as well. And so that's how you kind of build different types of characters and in the world, and you get to play essentially what you want. You may have some crossover types of stuff too.
Oh goodness.
Like this specific group will probably have some crossover with characters that we have in Jay's campaign. Mm-hmm. Like you might have the benefit of meeting Randall White and Chet Bluegrass at some point.
The privilege.
You might, cross over with a group that's called the Iron Brigade or the Legion, as well.
Or the Defenders of the Keep.
Defenders of the Keep. The Free Reavers.
I like that.
No.
Not at first level,
right
of
up my
course.
alley, but I haven't started it.
But at some point.
I've watched a little bit of Black Mirror,
boo.
and I did like what I saw.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like...
But the intent is to give you guys a little bit of variety, so that you don't feel like that you're kind of painted in a corner for, I can only play Ilya or Soren, that sort of a thing, or
Spiderweb monk.
Okay, so your quote-unquote homework for you guys to do is, once again, kind of think of your backstory. Please let me know what it is so that I can incorporate little things inside of the adventure as much as possible.
We can fill all this out to like age,
Yeah.
sex, height, weight.
Yeah, those things are actually within the Dungeon Master's Guide. So if you take a look at it, there are tables that are pre-designed, or you can come up with your own.
Do I have to do actual age, or that'll match my age?
So that'll right now will match your
Okay.
current age. Actual age is different because there's like spell abilities and different monsters you can face. Like if you face a ghost can automatically age you. Okay.
So,
How it works.
is my actual age my real one, and my
Yes.
modified one is age?
Yes.
Okay. So just leave this blank, fill out age.
No. You would say age and actual age would be the same for right now.
So I can't just.
But then let's just say that you found a potion of speed. Okay, which doubles everything that you do.
You can take speed. In
Yeah,
first
you actually
edition?
can. Yes, you can. But it ages you by a year. So your age would go up by a year, but your actual age would stay the same. Okay? And if you faced a ghost, they can actually age you 10 to 40 years.
My
So
gosh.
did you ever have to do like a roll
That sounds
based on
cute.
age or anything? Like what? How
So
does age
there's
apply in-
there's provisions inside of the Dungeon Master's Guide that talks about it. So as you actually age, you go from like being a young adult to an adult to or mature to middle-aged and so forth. Like some of your physical attributes change. So as you get older, more than likely you gain intelligence and you gain wisdom, but you start losing like dexterity, you start losing constitution, no differently than all of us do in real life.
Okay.
I had to start thinking of ways to make myself less comely. I'm like, all right, in appearance.
Less comely?
I have a 9.
Oh, well, how could you be any less?
So what is
real
her
high,
charisma?
You want to bring it down, like
Charisma
well, I can't be
16.
that good.
Okay, so you actually add 2, so her comeliness is actually 11.
Okay, good. Then she's prettier, but with the same attributes.
She's average. She's average.
Yeah, that's kind of fine. As long as she's average, I don't really care. But when I was rolling so low, I'm like,
Nick, you seen Captain Marvel?
like the highest roll I had was 11 for
I'll
comeliness.
say it.
I'm like, alright.
What? Yeah.
All
I
right.
think you'd like it too.
Do you?
Yeah. You want to take me out to see it? Because you like cats.
I do really like cats. I like animals. I also
Mark, is everyone there planning to be on the Saturday mega stream?
Nah, we're not doing it.
That's awesome.
All right. So.
Mark wants me to be here and cook him eggs and stuff when he gets here.
Yeah, exactly.
Eggs and
Be
cakes.
thankful you're not Will. Will has to start at 6 a.m. his time because he's
Yep.
2 time zones over. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, because he lives in Colorado and it's 8 a.m. So it's 6 a.m. his time. His group's starting then. So,
Alright.
All right. So let me I think it's in here.
so we got an early night tonight. 13 minutes early, huh? That's cool.
Yep.
That's a little late.
So, I was gonna say. There she is.
Should be a real fun one, guys. So you guys won't get together again until then, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, okay, well then you get to, yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So for everybody's
the pieces painted?
visual enjoyment,
Just kidding.
so this is my character Alhana.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll paint her.
Actually,
Don't need
Bill
much
has
paint.
that figure.
Bill!
paint.
You actually don't have to paint much.
So there's a good chance that I'll be playing her on the Mega Stream.
Nice.
So you're going to go Railstone and Alhana. You're going to go the actual members of the Iron Brigade.
I believe
That's
so.
cool. I mean, that's fine.
I was thinking about it. Unfortunately, since Bill's not going to be there, Salen's not going to be. But she may have some additional interest considering she's never met Fensig or Leuven before.
Oh my god.
So that may be a little bit of fun.
Oh, goodness.
Anna Meyer's playing in our game, and Anna Meyer will be playing Mariel, who's Jalarzi Salavarian's apprentice and friend, and her and Tim, my friend Tim's dad, John, is coming back to play, and his character Abdul and Mariel have been an item for a long time, so this ought to be funny with Anna playing her. So, it's going to be really, it's going to be interesting.
Yes, it will. All right.
All right, because I'm working on the screen now for the high-level characters, so I'm going to write in Alhana, and I'm going to write in Railstone.
All right,
that's cool.
See you, Rod. Okay. Any other questions from anybody?
What is the Crusader class from, so I can look it up?
It's actually in the it'll be in the Dropbox that I'll give you access to. Okay. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate you coming on board and participating tonight. Like I said, I know it may seem a little bit a tad on the boring side, but I hope you really enjoyed yourself by watching what we do from character development. Typically speaking, I will say if you're used to watching our stream on Thursdays, we're usually doing this behind the scenes and bringing our characters to Jay. But I thought it was a good opportunity to introduce this to everybody. It was something that we never really actually did before. So thank you once again so much for joining. We're going to sign off.
Let me make two quickies.
Sure.
Thursday night is the giveaway for Miniature Building Authority. $75 gift certificate for subscribers. They don't have to be on. Anyone who's a follower is on at the time. As long as you're a follower, you're eligible for the $25 gift certificate. And then Sunday, everyone, all the DMs, a lot of players, Tim, Anna are going to be on the Gavin show on Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. We're going to talk about the mega stream. We're going to talk about everything we're doing. We'll give some hints away as to what each group's going to do. I think it'll be a real fun thing. So that'll be this upcoming Sunday. So and Thursday we're running Carlos Lysing's adventure that he made specifically for me for our campaign called Mushroom Blue. He wrote this for our campaign, so I'm gonna run it, and it's pretty cool. We may have a little surprise for everyone on Thursday, Mark.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So, guys, thanks, man.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.